And we're live. All right. What a good day. What a good way to start the stream. Johnny, thanks for joining the membership. I'm almost certain you're watching the VODs, not you're watching a VOD, not the current live stream, but all the same, whenever you get around to this one. Thank you, Johnny. All right. It's a good way. Nagato, username. How's it going, guys? Nomad. Oh, shit. Let's go, baby. Oh, that's amazing. It's been a long time since I've gotten N3. It's been a long time. Nightwalker, how's it going, man? Chat on stream as well. Oh, let me fix that. Thank you, right? Wrongs, how's it going, man? How you doing? Oh, that was amazing. Wordle in 3. It's gonna be a good fucking day, boys. Oh my god. 11:01. Let's fucking go. You sure you're showing the right chat? Yes, I am, Nagito. I don't know what you're talking about. Bowling alley, golf. No. Bowling. No, hold on. Golf course, bowling alley, swimming pool. I'm thinking like places you go for a date or something, or like ways to pass the time on like in the summer or something. Commandments, Brooklyn Bridge. Fuck. Bowling greens, bowling pins, bowling ball, bowling alley. That seems too obvious. Yeah, I figured. I just realized there's no music on. Bro, after all the grinding, I discovered that the update isn't today, it's tomorrow, which means more well, just more time to grind, Nagito. That's nothing to be sad about. More time to grind, baby. Gotta get on that grind set. How's everyone doing? This fine. How's everyone doing this fine Tuesday night, Wednesday morning? God, this is cooked. Colander. Fingers. Sponge. I don't know. Lexicon. Bro, I got 300. Bro, what? Oh, 320. Bro, you can chill. Council. Girl, boy. Boy, human. What? Human? Bro, is that fucking human will? I'm thinking like free will, choice. Okay, there's something wrong with this site today. Choice. The site is like backed up. Like every time I'm typing something, it's like taking a while before it pops up. This is dumb. Human choice. Human. Animal. Animal, brain. Brain, think. Think, council. Group. Groupthink, party? No, groupthink. What would? I know. I'm thinking like school projects or something. Presentation. Democracy. Okay. Ramiro, how's it going, man? Council, democracy, choice. Choice, think. Choose. Decision. That should do it. Your decision and think. Decision and think don't have a group. Family. I hate to say it, but usernames was spot on. Usernames was spot on all the way through. He saw the line. It's good stuff. All right, 8:30. Let's get to reading, boys and girls. I don't believe there's any girls here at the moment, but all the same. By the way, as you guys can see, my hair's a fucking mess. I was so tired when I got to bed after last night's stream. I forgot to set my alarm. And then I woke up an hour after I was supposed to. Just fucking rushing out the door. Didn't get a chance to set. My hair was just a fucking mess all day. And now I'm deciding to do this for the next 4 days, 3 or 4 days, because I want to finish volume 5 on by Saturday. So I'm thinking if I do 8 chapter streams for the rest of the weekdays at night, Saturday morning we can do like a 15-20 chapter stream, fucking hammer it out. Because we have 50 chapters right now. We have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We've got 4 nights. If I do 8 chapters a night, that's 32 chapters. That'll leave me with 18 chapters on Saturday. I can do 18 in a stream. Bang. And then we have volume 5 done. And we're on to volume 6. Which, from what I hear, is a fan favorite. I have been hearing of volume 6 since I was in like volume 1. So I'm excited to see what the hype is all about, man. We've been crashing out today, but what, Nagito? What's up? Also, username. No fours next to you. Cat Leia also didn't return to her senses for a few seconds. She never expected Emperor Roselle's secret mausoleum to involve the Abyss. However, after some careful thought, she realized that it wasn't surprising. Volume 6 is the default fave for Lord of the Mysteries. Wow. However, after some careful thought, she realized that it wasn't that surprising that a conflict at that level would involve something like that. For a moment, she hoped that the Queen... We're eating... Oh, fuck yeah, Arthur. Hell yeah. For a moment, she hoped that the Queen wouldn't pursue this matter, but in the end, she suppressed this thought. She felt that if it were her, she would make the same decision. Oh, that's so sweet. She's saying like, oh, if my mommy, if Bernadette went missing, I'd go to hell and back to get her back too. So can't blame her. Fair enough. Arthur, 10 out. How's it going, guys? I don't want to. All sorts of thoughts flashed through her mind as she bowed at the end of the table. Thank you for your answer. I have no further questions. The fool nodded and said, "You may begin." After he finished speaking, Forbes, who had been mustering the courage all this time, said, "Mr. World, I have a commission for you. You don't have to do much. You'll just leave me at an unfamiliar place every once in a while, and you can pick me up after a few days. If you're really busy, you can present traveling to me several times at a particular point in time for me to record." Upon hearing Miss Magician's words, the first thing that came to Klein's mind was man versus wild. I have too many suitable places, such as the Battlefield of the Gods and the easternmost front of the Sonia Sea, Calderon City in the spirit world, and the City of Miracles, Live City in Roselle's travel. They're 10 times, 100 times, or even 1,000 times more dangerous than the wilderness. Because of my decisions? What the fuck, username? Your call. I'm just afraid that Miss Magician wouldn't be able to handle the danger. Klein didn't let the world immediately answer. He controlled the fake person and cast its gaze on Miss Magician. Forrest took a deep breath, calmed her emotions, and said, "This is the thing. I'm a sequence 6 scribe of the apprentice pathway. To digest the potion, aside from recording all sorts of beyonder powers, I need to record local customs and traditions of different places. I hope that I can be a traveler soon, so that I can avoid most of the dangers of the war." Mr. World, I've only didn't you? Mr. World, I've only recorded and others, but that's one I'll say. I don't know. Mr. World, I've only recorded traveling once, so I won't be able to return if I go somewhere. I can only ask for your help. If you're interested, I wonder if you're interested and what kind of payment you'd like. So that's how it is. Audrey finally came to a realization. Can I humbly request you read to 1109 the stream? You know what, Romero? I think we can swing that. Okay. Furthermore, she felt that Forrest's method was great, especially since she's an author. Her act of recording scenery and customs and publishing it as a book would be a great aid in digesting her potion, Audrey thought, feeling sincerely happy for her friend. However, as a senior spectator, how could she not sense Forrest's horror and fear towards Mr. World? She was looking forward to knowing what would happen when the two of them formally interacted. Audrey, the state of mind isn't good. You know what scares me, though? Is I remember, I only remember this because it was just, because it was in the donghua, and I wouldn't have remembered this otherwise. But I remember when Audrey was asking Alger, like, hey, like, about the spectator pathway, like, what are its powers? Alger said something to the effect of, like, you shall forever be a spectator, or something, or, like, you'll be relegated to the role of a spectator. And I wonder if, like, at higher sequences, it, like, legitimately, like, prevents you to a degree from having too much, like, hands-on influence and not just influencing things from the background, you know? I worry, that's, like, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but... Audrey, this is the attitude of a spectator. Forrest definitely wouldn't expect that so-called lunatic she fears is only a mask. Beneath it is a gentle and kind heart. I have to work hard and digest my potion. I should visit the dreams surrounding me every night. After the hanged man Alger heard the magician's words, he sighed. This was because even this apprentice was beginning to break through to sequence 5, while he was still stuck. Get your money up, not your funny up, Alger. Get it together. Luvian, how's it going, man? No worries at all. How you doing? Say to Adam. Faceack Frank, think about it. Adam's been alive for like thousands of years. This motherfucker really doesn't show up at all. Is he doing that much hands-on? No, I'm not saying like he's not getting stuff done. Sure, but like he's not hands-on. That's why he has like a whole organization built to doing shit. Ocean Songster, bro. Alder needs to start singing more. He needs to just get like a couple of his sailors, sit them down and be like, listen, motherfuckers, you're gonna hear some bad shit, but I'm sorry. You need to fucking bear through this because I need to become a demigod, okay? You ready? And just start singing for hours a day. The world and the hermit are already at sequence 4, just as the sun, the moon, and the star are all sequence 5. Apart from the magician, the newly joined judgment is lower than my sequence. You know, it's really funny. At Don Juan only, the Avataku was called Adam and picked the spectator pathway. The newly joined judgment is lower than my... Only the newly joined judgment is lower than my sequence. As his thoughts churned, Alder felt stifled, a heavy feeling that was hard to resolve. He wished he could immediately find an opportunity to become a cataclysmic interrer. He's an angel, his sense of time is different. True, but Alder, I'm also saying, bro. Come on. Adam and Aman were given like the winning lots in life. They were born as probably angels, at the very least demigods, with the uniqueness of their pathways, and they still haven't become a true god. George III was born like 50 years ago. This guy's like right there. I'm just saying. And think about it. Adam won't be able to become a god either, because Adam's whole thing has to be like, oh, the tides of the time or some bullshit have to go the way you wanted them to. Well, he wants him to become a god. When Klein stops George III from becoming a god, Adam also stops from becoming a god, and now Adam is like foaming at the mouth, like, Klein, my mortal enemy! And he's like, yeah, your mortal enemy was born into this world a year and a half ago. You are a 2,000-year-old angel, and you got fucking ruptured by a fucking year and a half old person. I want you to think about it, okay? Like, visually, it's basically like Will Ossipton in a pram getting pushed around, stopping the plan of Adam. It's kind of depressing, okay? That's all I'm saying. Alder yearned to have a high position and being a person of power. He wanted others to acknowledge and respect him. He didn't want to fall behind in the tarot club. Is that so? At the same time, Klein understood what Miss Magician was thinking, and he remembered something. It was the identity that the other party had mentioned in front of Mr. Fool, an ex-surgeon who was now a novelist. Will spreading the terrifying legends that I create into text form help me digest my potion further? Black Clover 10 years? Really? That's awesome. I like Asta's story. I like Black Clover. The more shocking, harrowing, terrifying, and incomprehensible the description of the novel is, the better the effects. Klein suddenly had inspiration and said, the commission is very simple, but the payment I need is very special. What's the payment? Forz asked. Collect information about the ghost stories that have happened recently in the various major churches in Backland and write them into a small publication, or publish them in a newspaper. The requirement for the novel is that it's even more terrifying and bizarre. It's best if it can be a bestseller. The reason why he only mentioned the matters of the major churches in Backland was because Miss Magician was a local author, part of medical circles. Being able to come to know of urban myths and use that as material was very reasonable. However, if she even learned of the urban myths in Worstead Archipelago, Fog Sea, East and West Baland, then Zarato's marionettes would definitely visit her. And think a little. Do you not wait, the quill was with the church. He was only able to get it after being stolen. Do you not think that a sequence 5 it was able to steal and somehow the church didn't get it back? Well, Arthur, I thought about that. Now that you say it, it probably makes sense that it was Adam making sure that like he didn't get it. Or maybe Roselle's travel even. But I always imagined it to be more like because it's kind of like a living characteristic. I always thought it was more like the gum gum fruit from One Piece, where like the quill didn't want to be caught, so it sort of orchestrated things in a way that it was still trying to kill Ince, but it was also making sure it doesn't go back because it doesn't want to get caught. Loud buzzing? Really? Hold on. Okay, let's try that. Are there cicadas outside? Maybe, but I do have my window mostly closed. I don't know. It stopped, but occasionally pops back up. Interesting. Dude, I'm... That is... What the fuck? Seems fine so far? Okay, sounds good. Oh, wait. Could it be in this? It's fine for now. Okay, let me know, because I'm wondering if it might just be in the music, too. Okay. The ghost tales of the various hospitals in Backland. After hearing Gehrman's words, Audrey was stunned. She had thought that those were rumors that were caused by church beyonders secretly treating the injured, but she never expected it to be anything else. Audrey also guessed if it was done by Dwayne Dantes. After all, this gentleman had heard from her about the victims of the air raid and was a kind gentleman. At this moment, she was almost certain that the clown angel was Mr. World Gehrman. A Mr. World who wears a mushroom and weed mask is the same as the Gehrman who wears a crazy adventurer mask? Why does he act like that when he's doing something good? Is it because he needs the feeling or a certain feedback from creating the fear? Audrey thought. As for the star Leonard and the hanged man Alger, they immediately thought of the urban myths that the Nighthawks who belonged to the St. Samuel Cathedral were discussing recently, while the other fell deep in a thought about the horror stories his subordinates had heard of or encountered. I'd never heard of such a payment before. It's not like I'm writing a biography. Although there has been a war recently, the sales of newspapers and novels have increased. My previous editor has been urging me to write a new book. Yes, I must keep my identity a secret. I have to convince my editor to change my pen name. The excuse is that the novels of different types should use different pen names. Forrest said after some thought, "No problem." The World Gehrman immediately chuckled hoarsely and said, "If you do, I'll give you the opportunity to record the demigod powers, the powers of a demigod." "No problem," Forrest replied. To her, recording a demigod power not only increased her ability to protect herself, but could also help her digest her potion. This also made Audrey, Gio, Leonard, and the other members sigh in their hearts. Scribes were enviable. Once a demigod level expert became a backer, a scribe could effectively wield a powerful strength. They wouldn't be weaker than a sequence 5, maybe even stronger. After coming to an agreement, the scene fell silent for a moment because the other members of the Terror Club didn't have any other requirements. Leonard had become a sequence 5 recently and had yet to conclude the acting principles. There was still the possibility of him advancing within the church. As for items, he had already bought Word of Sea, and if there were any special circumstances, he could request artifacts of the church. Emlyn was reading the sanguine research regarding the moon domain every day, hoping to make a Scarlet Scholar more practical. As for the Sequence 4 Shaman King formula and ingredients, he didn't need them for a long amount of time, nor could he afford them, you broke bitch. Derek had recently mastered the powers of the Priest of Light, and he was still very far from advancing. As for the unshadowed main ingredient, he already had it. Similarly, Audrey and Gio had also recently advanced. One of them was working hard to help Mr. World accumulate contribution points, while the other was burdened by huge debt. Alger was in the Church of the Storm and had to keep a secret. He was currently in an awkward position, which required him to find a chance to advance. Furthermore, he had obtained the cataclysmic interior formula from the world. Cattleya had just become a demigod. She was deep in research of all kinds of secrets and all kinds of mysticism knowledge. She was pleasantly surprised that despite having advanced quickly, just recalling the knowledge and secrets she knew from the past allowed her to digest quite a bit of the potion. That's kind of fucking broken. What? That's broken as fuck. Amongst the various things she had heard from the Tarot Club, had contributed greatly. Oh, that makes sense. Because the Grey Fog was screening out the ability for her to digest the potion, so when she recalled them in the real world, it was like she was learning them for the first time, even though she already knew them. So her potion digested. Cute. Okay. The transaction segments quickly ended as the members began their free exchange. Emlyn surveyed the area and looked at Leonard. You're an official beyonder. How'd you deal with a clergyman of an opposing faction in your area or jurisdiction? He hasn't done anything, nor does he plan on doing anything. Although Feinapotter had yet to start the war with Lone, they had invaded Lone's ally, Lenberg. This made the believers and citizens around the Harvest Church look at Utravsky in an increasingly weird manner. Leonard thought and said, "Protective custody." 1102. That's a good title, I will say. Emlyn being smart? I mean, smart and caring, I will say. Our boy has, he's come a long way from where he used to be. Do I like him? Fuck no, he's a fucking bloodsucker. Fuck him. But he's the best vampire I've met so far. Protective custody, that's quite a witty answer. When Klein heard Leonard's answer, he couldn't help but chuckle. He knew very well who Emlyn was referring to, and he knew quite a bit about Bishop Utravsky. He didn't really believe Emlyn's claim that he hadn't done anything wrong, nor did he plan on it. This was because to a deity's blessed or a zealot, their understanding of something wrong is different from a normal person. Of course, Klein never suspected that Utravsky's claim that life was precious in piousness and acknowledgement of the joyous harvest. But the problem was that the Church of Earth Mother also preached that lives were like plants. They would ultimately wither and die, returning to the embrace of the Earth Mother. And they would eventually grow again when next year came. Khaled, it doesn't count as racism if it's against a different species. That doesn't count. I will die on this hill, bro. And when Emlyn heard the answer, he slowly nodded without saying a word. Seeing that he was silent, Leonard turned to ask a question and wanted to get some feedback. Are there any major matters lurking beneath Backland recently? What he really wanted to ask was why his Red Gloves team had been part of the reserve forces. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone cast their gaze to Mr. World. From what they knew, whenever something happened in Backland, Mr. World was more or less aware. Should send Emma to Twilight Universe? I don't know anything about the Twilight series, bro. What major matters are lurking beneath Backland? There's plenty. The Black Emperor ritual, my secret alliance with Queen Mystic, 3 churches tacitly approving. As Klein's thoughts raced, he roughly understood what Leonard was asking. That's right. Why was Leonard left in Backland? Because of me, the church doesn't want to put Leonard in a dangerous spot. Am I thinking too much of myself? Klein shook his head. He changed his train of thought and analyzed the problem on matters that Leonard could be of service of. He's only a sequence 5, so what use can he play? Even if he is of use, they wouldn't use him. They'd use me. This can rule me out. I'm still a qualified blessed at the moment. If I really need to do something, then a simple instruction would suffice. We can call Roselle a clanker because that ardor, that's not the same thing. There's a possibility, and it's not a low one either. Back then, I was concerned to a certain degree. I believe that in the case of Amon becoming a god, the church and Pallas were on the same page. They could form some kind of tacit understanding. In fact, I believe that the grandpa had such considerations when he first chose Leonard as a target for parasitizing. But why is Pallas being kept in Backland? To fish for Amon? Even amongst the King of Angels, Amon ranks at the top. But even so, although it's practically impossible for the goddess to engage in a divine descent, it shouldn't be difficult to expel Amon with the church's angels. A grade 0 artifact and Pallas Zoroast. Is chat not on low latency today? It's on ultra low latency, Romero, so like the time lag between when... Are you... Okay. Bushcar, how's it going, man? Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought I changed it from low to ultra low, but I changed it from low to normal, so yes, it's higher than normal today. I don't think I can change it now. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. I appreciate you popping by, Pushkar. How you doing, man? Clyde thought quickly as he made a new idea. Fishing for Amon isn't done so as to deal with him, instead it's to hold back Zaratul. Similar pathways could be interchanged at a higher level. Even if one could become a true god, even if one became a true god at Sequence 0, they still have a strong desire for the uniqueness and Sequence 1 characteristics of the neighboring pathways. On this point, the goddess's plan was excellent evidence. The goddess wants to make Backland into a potpourri mess before wiping them all out. Klein made the world, Gehrman, hesitate for a few seconds before saying the leader of the Secret Order, a Sequence 1 angel, an old friend of Roselle, Zaratul, is hiding in Backland. It must have been difficult scrolling for 6 hours. Oh, Pushkar, don't even fucking talk to me about that, dude. Work is harrowing. I have to sit there, pretend to be busy for 7.5 hours a day. It makes the day feel like it's 50 fucking hours. Oh my god. Seeing that the members of the Tarot Club were confused, the world added the law of beyonder characteristics convergence, or law of beyonder characteristics conservation. We often refer to refers to the conservation of the characteristics of neighboring pathways. In other words, similar pathways also obey the law of convergence of beyonder characteristics. Leonard immediately fell into a deep thought and said, the Marauder and the Seer pathway are neighboring? Yes, as is the Apprentice pathway, the world said. Upon hearing this, Force connected the law of convergence to the attraction between beyonder characteristics taught to her by her teacher, Dorian. She then connected it to the Saint of Secrets who had been attracted. She then began to consider a question. If it really is as Mr. World says, the beyonder characteristics of neighboring pathways attract, then would it have attracted the attention of Zaratul back then? After all, Forrest thought of the raven that was staring at Botus's back. Could the raven be a marionette? Oh, that's really good. That's really fucking good. Seeing all the members looking over, she said, my teacher is a member of the Abraham family. He wields a rather important sealed artifact. As the first part of the sentence was known by the other members, other than the star, Force had no intention of hiding anything. The second half of the sentence, she made some modifications. Seeing that no one was raising any questions, Force continued, this causes him to occasionally encounter high sequence beyonders of the Apprentice pathway. Previously, when he came to Backland, the Aurora Order's Saint of Secrets, Botus, appeared nearby. Merlin, how's it going, man? As for me, I noticed that a raven was looking in the direction where Botus was heading. A raven? The details of Foggy Town surfaced in Klein's mind. At the top of the cathedral, there were ravens flying about. They were holding a memorial or in grief. As for Zaratoul's avatar, he was hidden in the cathedral. Oh, he likes ravens. Zaratoul is using ravens as marionettes? Is this a mark left behind during his phase as a bizarro sorcerer? That might very well be a Zaratoul, Klein said. I met a Sequence 1 angel. Forz shook with horror and fear. She then recalled how she and Gio had discussed Adam and ended up being possibly targeted. For some reason, she had the illusion that she had become the protagonist of a novel. Despite only being a Sequence 7 or 6, she had established connections with the King of Angels. With this in mind, Forz turned her head to Miss Justice and said, "Can you hypnotize me later to forget certain matters?" "No problem," Audrey said. As for Leonard, he had some ideas as well. He planned on discussing it with the old man. Klein didn't continue talking about the major matters. This was because they were just too high-end for the other members of the tarot clubs. He said, "Damn, y'all weak as fuck. You can't help me with this. I'll take care of it." Not only were they unable to participate, even having a complete understanding could bring about disaster to them. In this aspect, Klein's idea was that he could get the help of the members of the tarot club in certain segments, but it was like commissioning a bounty hunter to do something. Without getting them too involved in the matter and figuring out the reason for the commission, it was a form of protection for them. At this moment, Alger looked around and said, "According to my observations, the Church of the Storm isn't too enthusiastic about this war." Isn't too enthusiastic? That doesn't match my image of the church. Although their teachings don't advocate combat, they definitely emphasize the need to treat their enemies like a storm and vent anger. According to my previous speculations, Storm, Sun, Reader, Spectator, and Shepherd can switch at high pathways. Wait, what? Did I know this? Why is this one 5? That's so dumb. One, two, three, 6. Why is... No, it won't. I had... Yeah, but... Why is... And then you forgot them? That sounds about right. Why 5? Why is this one so special? Why do you get 5? So, okay, so if that's the case, then Mr. A asked for the... Oh, yeah, oh, yes, you're right, Nagito. Yes, he did. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. If that's the case, then that would make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would make 8 different groupings of pathways. Interesting. Okay. Okay, no worries. Let's keep going. As for the Lord of Storm, he is likely to be the wind angel of yesteryear. He has eaten Adam's father, ASG, the City of Silver's creator. Even if he had tacitly allowed George III to become Black Emperor, it's impossible for him to sit back and watch Adam make use of the flood of the times to become a god. Therefore, the Church of the Storm is unwilling to have the war increase in scope, allowing it to turn into a world war, so he's trying to control his impulse. Oh, clever. Because it needs a world war, but if he can prevent that, then he can't become a god, and Adam can't either. This explains why Lone and Intess would maintain their strange silence when Phaenopotter invaded Lenberg, Mason, and Seagar. EBS and Church of Lord of Storm are probably in a difficult spot. On one hand, at the level of deities, it isn't that there's no possibility of abandoning their alliances to deal with the Church of Knowledge. On the other, the battle strategies at the national level would prompt them to protect those countries, forcibly breaking up the perception built up by the citizens of a country, causing their anchors to become unstable. Once they participate in the battle, it would help Adam become a sequence 0. Klein presently made the worlds stay silent before replying, "At present, this is inevitable." I didn't actually remember if he had told the Hanged Man and the others that the Sailor, Spectator, Sun, Reader, and Secret Suppliant were interchangeable. However, since the Hanged Man had expressed his doubts towards the Church of Storm, it meant that he hadn't thought about the interchangeability of both paths. Regardless of whether he knew it or not, or if he had chosen to connect the two matters, Klein believed there was a need for him to explain things. After the Hanged Man and the others cast his gaze onto him, the world said, "The Storm, Sun, Spectators, Reader, and Secret Suppliant pathways are all neighboring, likewise for Evernight, God of Combat, and Death. Neighboring pathways often become enemies. Of course, that's not absolute. At least the 7 deities have some sort of an alliance." Upon hearing the world's reply, Alderfist recalled Adam pushing for the Flood of the Times to become a god. Following that, the thoughts flashed through his mind as he gained a certain level of understanding. This made him feel a rather special sense of superiority and joy. It was as if he had seen the essence of the matter, exceeding the level of most Beyonders in the Church. Godzilla, how's it going, man? How you doing? Similarly, Audrey had a brand new understanding of Intess's strange silence and the war. In addition, she knew that she could switch to Unshadowed, Cataclysmic Interror, and to the corresponding Sequence 4 of the Church of God and Knowledge she had recently met. As for the corresponding Sequence 4 of the Secret Suppliant pathway, it wasn't even within consideration. Good girl, Audrey. Good for you. Of course, compared to other pathways, she still preferred Manipulator. Fuck that. She liked the Spectator pathway from the bottom of her heart, but she also felt fear towards the upper echelons of the Spectator pathway. Havin Rambus had left a bad impression on her. Adams, any mention of it will be known, left her with trauma. Cat Leia had always been deeply knowledgeable about such matters. Apart from the information mentioned by Gehrman, she also knew that Mystery Prior and Savant were neighboring pathways. I think I already know this, but I will just doubly confirm. Mystery Prior, Savant, yeah, I already know this. It was likewise for Arbiter and Lawyer. I think I have that too. Arbiter and Lawyer, yeah. The Prisoner and Criminal. Prisoner and Criminal, yeah. The Hunter and Assassin. Hunter and Assassin. Planter and Apothecary. Hey, okay. I always suspected those ones, but I didn't know. So it's good to just have like a, confirmation. Cool. So now I know what everything coincides with except for Monster. That's really confusing. Does Monster not coincide with anything? Is Monster just its own bullshit? That'd be really strange. As for the other members of the Tarot Club, they dispersed their thoughts. Alger then said to Gehrman, "Thank you for your answer." For an instant, Alger wanted to leave the church and switch to another pathway. This was better than waiting for a long time for a slim chance. But ultimately, he gave up on the idea. After all, his goal for a long time was to become a cardinal of the church. At present, he was beginning to yearn to be ranked among the first among the cardinal ranks, becoming an angel in charge of the punishers or ascetics. As for the position of pontiff, Alger didn't yearn for it because it was too close to the to the Lord of Storm. If he were to be chosen as a pontiff, Alger suspected that he would be smote to ash. Seeing that the exchange between the world and the hanged man ended, Emlyn asked, "Which pathway can the apothecary pathway be interchanged with?" "The planter pathway of the Evernight, of the Church of the Earth Mother," Cattleya replied. Emlyn frowned as he vaguely grasped something. At this moment, Gio asked, "Which pathway neighbors Arbiter?" "Lawyer," Cattleya answered. "Lawyer of the Black Emperor pathway. In other words, if I become a Sequence 5, I could switch to Sequence 4 of the Black Emperor. As Force had already told me that Mr. Fool has the card of blasphemy. It contains all the secrets of that pathway." Gio realized a glimmer of hope for her future. It had to be known that the Arbiter pathway was firmly controlled by the two royal families, and the corresponding military only had the formulas for low and mid sequences. If one wanted to advance to a high sequencer, they had to receive a bestowment from the royal family, just like how every general had to be conferred by the king or queen. To Gio, this meant it was impossible for her to become a demigod of the Arbiter pathway. Of course, no matter how tightly guarded the formula was, there were bound to be loopholes. The military demigods knew of the rituals, and occasionally would cooperate with the royal family to hunt powerful supernatural beings. They could roughly narrow down the candidates for the main ingredients to a small area, but it also meant they could confirm the formula through repeated ingredients. At the same time, the military demigods were unable to grasp supplementary ingredients. If they only wanted to rely on the main to advance, they would need the benediction of fate. Gio now had another possibility. At this moment, Audrey had surmised the neighboring pathways that Mr. World and Ma'am Hermit had mentioned, and asked, "Among prisoner, criminal, hunter, assassin, savant, mystery prior, and monster, which pathways are neighboring similar pathways?" The World Gehrman glanced at Hermit and replied, "Prisoner and criminal, hunter and assassin, savant and mystery prior are similar that can be interchanged." This was knowledge that could be confirmed by Klein. Among them, the interchangeability of the prisoner and criminal was something mentioned by Medici to Miss Sharon. The interchangeability of savant and mystery prior had been demonstrated by Roselle. As for hunter and assassin, it was information accumulated over time. "What about monster? This is the only one left," Force said. After seeing the world silent, Cattleya thought for a moment and said, "It's difficult to be categorized as a neighbor of any other pathway. Just like fate, it can only objectively exist alone." Oh, the monster pathway is so cool. It's like, bitch, I live in a McMansion, okay? I don't have any fucking neighbors for miles. I live alone. Goated and woaded, kind of. So, actually, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There's 9 different categories. So by my logic, there should be 9 super gods. Assuming my logic is right. And I literally can't see a flaw in the logic. Normally when I make theories, I'm telling you and I can tell you like, hey, like these are the problems with it because I can't figure these out. But like, I can't see a flaw in the super god theory. They're bitchless, true, kind of. I can be sure of that. I can only say that the most fundamental order in our supernatural powers might be chaos and disharmony. The reason why Cattleya was certain that the monster pathway didn't have an interchangeability was because her advancement ritual required her to analyze the blood of a snake of fate. How would monster get a super god though? They're built different, you know, they're just built different. They're just... I'm covering for Dr. Z. Thank you, Nagitsu. How would... I think, how would one become a super god of the monster theory, of the monster pathway? Wait, I actually have an answer to this. Hold on. What? I thought you had me for there. I thought you had me for sure. Oh my god. Hold on, let me cook. Hold on, let me cook. I have an answer for this. That's nuts. Okay, so my theory was, I mentioned this a couple of days ago, that the gray fog is like the divine kingdom of the super god of the seer, apprentice, and marauder pathways, right? Like it belongs to the super god. That's why Aman wanted it. So maybe after you get to God, you have to get access to this divine kingdom of the super god of the monster pathway to become a super god. I feel like that was the most autistic sentence I've ever uttered, but like I think I got my point across. Let me cook. Let me cook. I see. Audrey was slightly uncomfortable with this disharmonious situation, but she quickly adjusted her state of mind. After the exchange was almost complete, all the members looked at Derek. The youth said, "We've already set off. We're currently less than a day away from Afternoon Town. When we arrive, we'll be resting for a day or two before starting exploring." The son's words made Aldrich, Catley, and company feel like the myths were entering reality. Compared to the places like the ruins of the battlefield of the gods, the Giant King's court was a symbolic entity that entered the various legends and in different secret documents. So, like, theoretically, by my logic, when Klein becomes a god, he might just supersede God and go straight to super god. Because, like, he already has access to his divine kingdom, so he just insta-digests the god formula and just goes straight to super god. Oh, that'd be so hard. What? What secret was it hiding? The answer was about to be revealed. Horrors, terrors, and more horrors with the Bergs, actually. Even though they had followed Gehrman into the City of Miracles, which was on par with the Giant King's court, the Star, Leonard, and Justice Audrey were secretly excited and looking forward to hearing more. After all, the city that Onkvald had imagined into existence had lost too much in the process of being transferred. There were no traces of anything of value. Furthermore, what was even more important was that Derek had mentioned that the Kings of Angels had come to a secret plot in the Giant King's court. As for Klein, he was thinking of something else. Should I get the little son to pray to the fool before the exploration? I can then use the Crimson Moon, the Crimson Star, and the Scepter to extend my vision to a certain degree so that I can watch. In that case, if there are accidents, I can help too. The only problem with this is that I can't watch for too long. This has nothing to do with my spirituality, it's just that the connection fades. And the time only lasts about 45 minutes. Let little son pray every once in a while? That's under the premise that it doesn't affect his battle or attract the attention of the people around him. In that case, my spirituality could probably last 2 hours. It's not on the same level as my sequence 5. It's also because of my rapid digestion of the potion recently. Klein then controlled the world to say, before exploring the court, pray to Mr. Fool and pray for good luck. In the process, you can also pray many times. Mr. World is such a nice guy. Derek sincerely thanked him. He then saw Mr. Fool, who was enveloped by the grayish-white fog, nod. I don't know whether to envy Wiz or praise him for all the theories back whenever I did it. That is one of the things I'm actually kind of happy for, Godzilla. Where, like you guys, if I was just reading this by myself, I would have probably finished Lord of the Mysteries in like a month. I would have been fucking... Like, I could... Like, maybe a month would be too little, but like, I could read it fucking fast, right? So, but the thing is, I wouldn't have as much time to like think about it. Like Like, I'm at work and I'm like bored out of my mind. I'm like, theory time. So like, I mean, there are like goods and bads of it, you know. Bads, of course, because I forget stuff because it's been a while since, like, you know, I've read certain things. But all the same, I like it. No, just a dream. Sorry, I have music playing in my AirPods because I realized that just because I can't put on copyrighted music for you guys on stream doesn't mean I can't listen to it. So I'm vibing. It's good. It's a good time. It's a good time. The world above the grey fog had been restored to its state of silence, as though the gathering had just ended. Klein bent his finger and knocked at the edge of the table. He made the pages of Roselle's diary appear. Amidst the indescribable stillness, Klein cast his gaze on the first paragraph of the first page. Oh yeah, we have so many fucking pages to read. Hell yeah. Anyone got any plans for the weekend or anything like that? To figure what out? To figure what out, Romero? Yeah, true. Jot down more theories of other books I'm gonna read. September 27th, I saw Miss Ithaca again. Do I have a Miss Ithaca in my notes? Ithaca. No, I don't have it in my notes. Yeah, I'm jumping off the bridge. Which bridge, Kami? Famous bridge? I had a nerve-wracking and thrilling but sufficiently wonderful experience with her. As expected, I prefer women of this age. I'm not just reminiscing of my youth, but rather that I haven't changed after so long. I'm so dedicated. I read your diary with such seriousness, and you're giving me this? Klein's mouth twitched. Figure out that you can listen to music? Yeah, exactly, Romero. It took a while. Only 6 months. Yeah, 6 months for me to figure that out. 5 months. Five. In the lounge of the basement of St. Samuel Cathedral, after Leonard opened his eyes, he deliberated and said, "Old man, Zaratul seems to be in Backland." Indeed. Wait, you knew? Wait. Old man, are you familiar with Zaratul? Didn't you say that the Zoroastrian Zaratul family were important noble families of the Solomon Empire? I'm familiar with the Zaratul who died in the War of the Four Emperors. The one who is alive now should be his descendant. I may or may not have ever seen him. The Zaratul back then had already obtained clues regarding the second sequence, one characteristic from the true creator. He was waiting for the war to end before searching. If he succeeded, he would be considered a king of angels. Unfortunately, in the War of the Four Emperors, he directly encountered the existence of the indigenous family who could be known as the Half-Fool? The Half-Fool? Someone was really close to becoming Sequence 0 of the Seer Pathway, from the indigenous family. And Bethel Abraham was also involved. He could appear at any time, anywhere. If he hadn't been quickly banished and sealed by Evernight and Storm, I might not have survived to the end of the war myself. The Half-Fool. I'm not gonna lie to you. That kind of just sounds like the guy was a dumbass. I know that's not what it's intended to, but like in my reading of it, it literally just means like the guy was like a dumb fuck, but like he might occasionally do something clever. But like generally he was a dumb fuck, you know? Eric, long time no see, man. How you doing? The Half-Fool. Leonard's eyelids twitched when he heard this title. He then By the way, can I just, by the way, Kami, you are right. Can I just say, the sheer aura of Bethel Abraham, the one who was most likely to become a god of that era. Bro, Amon and Adam existed, and they were like, bro, this guy might be a god real soon. Adam and Amon, side. Bethel Abraham, this guy's on some fucking shit, bro. This guy's going. That's wild. He then forced himself to control himself. From the description of a bystander, Mr. Door was clearly one of the top existence of the King of Angels. In the first diary entry, it said he was sealed in darkness and storms. Oh, Evernight and Church of Storm. So clever. So clever. So clever. Even from the description, it required 2 true deities to join forces and banish and seal him. By the way, think about the sheer aura of Bethel Abraham. It was stated that what was it? A man cannot fight against a demigod, and a saint cannot fight against an angel, and an angel cannot fight against a god. This was stated, and it took 2 gods to seal away this angel. Think about how fucking strong this motherfucker must have been for 2 gods to be like, damn, we can't do it alone. We need to, us together, we can take him down. What do you mean? The old man is reminiscing about the past. He's feeling a little uneasy. Amidst his thoughts, Leonard suddenly said, I was left in Backland because they wished to use you to attract Amon here? Who made this guess? I don't think it was you. But it's not a bad thing that you know how to use your own resources to probe for the truth. This is something I'm very familiar with since I joined the Nighthawks, Leonard replied, but he didn't say a word. To be honest, your ex-colleague's relationship with the Evernight really confuses me. If it wasn't for just how familiar the concealment forces that appeared that day were, I wouldn't have dared to make such a guess. With Zaratul and I in Backland, Amon will arrive soon. This is the perfect triangle of balance. Oh my god. Oh my god. We're gonna get... Oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. What do you mean? The concealment forces used to deal with Amon came from the Evernight and not Mr. Fool? Does this mean that there's a certain level of cooperation between Mr. Fool and the goddess? Or is that the faith of some higher up in the church in Mr. Fool? Leonard suddenly felt a strong sense of confusion and puzzlement regarding this position. Seeing that Palazoroast was also confused, he converged his thoughts and didn't bring any questions in regards to this. He frowned and said, 2 sequence 1 angels and a king of angels. Will this bring about disaster to Backland? Bug, how's it going, man? How you doing? He remembered that Amon was a terrifying existence that could kill countless people silently. Using this as a reference, Zaratul, who was over a neighboring pathway, definitely possessed similar powers. If he and Amon were to clash, half of Backland, or maybe the entirety of it, would be the capital of death. Bro. I'm starting to wonder, because sequence 1 angels all kind of have to have a roughly similar power. Now, like you can have like, hey, like one pathway has more strength and less agility, and like more, or like the door pathway would be like probably really high in like agility, but like lower in maybe damage output, that sort of stuff, no problem. But like, since Amon is said to be able to have hundreds of people that he's parasitized, how many fucking marionettes can Zaratul have? This motherfucker could probably have like 500 fucking marionettes, and he's just like walking around with like a fucking army around him. Holy shit. I mean, he's kind of a loser, so like 300 might be ravens, because I don't know why he fucking gets a kick out of ravens, but all the same, like that's crazy. Palaz laughed. Oh, avatars, yes, thank you. Palazoroast laughed. Balance also means that everyone will be restrained. Besides, it's very likely that Amon won't let his true body enter Backland. At most, he'll send a large number of avatars over. After all, the impossibility of a divine descent by Evernight doesn't mean that Storm or Steam can't. What do you mean? Leonard asked. Regardless of whether it's because of the war or something else, Evernight is likely unable to interfere with the matters on the ground for now. Otherwise, would she need to lure Amon over to form balance? She directly set up a trap, and who knows, she might be able to capture Zaratul or scare the cowardly seer away. Cowardly seer? Why is Zaratul a coward? Is Zaratul canonically a coward? Bro, how are you a fucking angel? Maybe a king of angel level. Wait, he might be... Am I making this up? Or did Eridus say, like, Zaratul has 2 sequence 1 characteristics? Am I making this up in my head? I can't remember. I feel like Eridus said this when he showed Zaratul. But I might just be looking this up. Oh, sorry, but I might just be making this up, rather, not looking. I didn't look anything up. Did something happen to the goddess? Leonard asked. Maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing, Palas replied. Amon was attracted to Backland by me? What about Zaratul? What about me? That's your fanfic? Oh, it's my own headcanon? Fuck me. Okay. Amon was attracted to Backland by me. What about Zaratul? What about me? I think Zaratul is also here because of you, and you're in Backland because of me, Leonard replied. Why do you think you're in Backland? Palas scoffed. This is the arrangement of the church. It can't be the effects of the convergence of Beyonder characteristics, right? That's not necessarily true, Palas said. Most of the time, the law of Beyonder characteristics convergence will not directly show in place where you can sense it. Most of the time, it will influence fate. Just like when you board a train, you'll feel that the scenery along the way is beautiful and will get off the train in advance, resulting in you entering a small city. This might be because there are characteristics or beyonders of a neighboring pathway around you. In other words, there are other things in Backland that attract you and Zaratul here, and through you my fate is affected, causing me to be arranged by the church to stay here. Leonard asked. That possibility can't be ruled out, Palas Zoroast sighed. Hey there, I wouldn't say they're cowards. I would say they're strategists. I wouldn't say cowards. Above the grey fog, Klein flipped to another diary page. November 21st. As I had made too many preparations early, I obtained that chaotic and terrifying grade 0 character artifact faster than I imagined. Dr. Z, how's it going? And then, after a difficult battle, I finally restored it to a pure Sequence 1 characteristic. In a few more days, the ritual will be complete, and I will be able to advance to Sequence 1 Knowledge Emperor of the Mystery Prior Pathway. I am almost certain I already know that name, but yes, I do know that name. Great. November 26, sunny and breezy. The ritual was very successful. I digested it thoroughly, and my anchors are even more stable. There weren't many difficulties during the whole process. I'm already a Sequence 1 angel, a knowledge emperor. Bernadette no longer has to worry about the influence of the hidden sage. She can abide by the words, do as you wish but do no harm, and continue on this path. Oh, that's so sweet. He said Bernadette doesn't have to be worried about... yeah. That's so sweet. Like, Bernadette, Roselle became a Sequence 1 of the Mystery Prior Pathway, and he was like, my child, you don't have to be afraid. I will protect you, because, like, I'm so strong of this. I'm an angel of this pathway now. That's so sweet. At the same time, the level of an angel at Sequence 1 means I can greatly resist the notice and corruption of the cosmos. I can head to the Crimson Moon and see what's happening there. Regardless if Mr. Fool is lying or not, Mr. Door is lying or not, everything points to the fact that the moon is the key to the problem. If I wish to become a deity, I have to figure out the reason. I'll make preparations for another 3 days before attempting to land on the moon. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Don't quote me on that. Fuck you, fuck you, Roselle. I say that, but I would make the same joke if I was in his position. Upon seeing this, Klein recalled the hysterical diary pages of Roselle. He began to suspect that it was written after the Emperor landing on the moon. Putting down the remaining unread diary pages, Klein began to use dream divination to recall the content he had over the past year. He wanted to use the comparison to find clues to Roselle's abnormal mental state. Not long after, he saw a few lines of text in his dream. It was the last diary entry that was theoretically written by Roselle. I'm unable to give any actual suggestions because I myself can see the true faces of the 7 deities or the evil gods. This may be partially related to the second blasphemy slate and the ancient organization that hides it. Unfortunately, I only have a rough idea that there are hidden parts and cannot verify it. In this diary, the Emperor had solemnly warned his friends to be careful of the moon. The dream shattered and Klein woke up. He clearly remembered that a long time ago, Roselle had confirmed that there was a hidden portion in the second blasphemy slate. Bro, what the fuck are the blasphemy slates? What the fuck is the... Why is there just a fucking stone slab, I assume, like fucking Moses carrying down the 10 Commandments of like the fucking... mountain or whatever. Like, how are there fucking just a stone slab that has all the sequence, all the names, all the rituals, all the ingredients? Like, what the fuck is this? What is happening? Sorry, while I am kind of pissed that I don't know what is going on, I'm also vibing real hard with the music, so we're having a good time, you know. 19th July, the night of the blood moon. Mr. Door's answer allowed me to confirm one thing. In that secret organization, the second blasphemy slate I saw wasn't complete. The Emperor forgot? No, how could he have forgotten such a thing? He only appeared a little extreme and didn't have much of a problem. Why the hell did this happen? Klein couldn't help but mutter to himself silently. He had an inexplicable and terrifying feeling. The last diary entry, or rather, the Emperor Roselle who wrote that sentence, seems to be another person. So Roselle had been... Let's assume that Roselle was physically swapped out. That the Roselle after a certain point wasn't the Roselle of old, it wasn't the real Roselle. If that's the case, then the Roselle who was killed wasn't the real Roselle. So maybe the real Roselle is like hiding away in a chamber somewhere, you know, like sleeping like a vampire in like a coffin or something, waiting to be awoken by his princess. A uniqueness is a uniqueness ass sentence. Actually, dude, these guys are actually fucking rage baiters. The key to my heart. As you guys can see, I'm having a great time today, so I'm chilling. No problem. Ramiro wanted me to read to 1109. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I gotta read through 5 more chapters. That should hopefully get me to no later than 11. And then I can go to sleep by 12. Yeah, that should be fun. As long as I can remember to set my fucking alarm. Okay. Above the grayish-white fog that wasn't perturbed at all, Klein sat at the table like a statue that had been frozen solid. Regarding his discovery, he felt a deep sense of horror from the bottom of his heart. It was as if he had witnessed a familiar friend become a stranger so quickly. Of course, there was a clearer and more direct analogy. It would be Leonard coming to visit and discussing the matter regarding Palace Zoroaster as a monocle is suddenly taken out and put on. Oh my god, I would shit my pants, dude. Oh my god, that'd be the most terrifying thing in the universe. Could it be that the Emperor was unknowingly corrupted after his ascension to the moon and didn't notice? He usually didn't show any abnormalities. Only through reminiscing about the past, analyzing his inner voice and talking to himself, would certain premonitions surface. Or could it be that his form was a hypnosis by Adam, but Roselle was a sequence 1? Klein couldn't help but lower his head to inspect himself. This is horrifying. Klein then turned to another diary page. July 28th, I attended the secret organization's gathering again. From the discussions among the members, I sensed a problem. Is it because I advanced too quickly and that I'm relatively inexperienced? There are so many things I've never heard of. Like how they mention about the corruption of the cosmos and the underground. This is the first I know of it. I wonder how many of them are he's or she's. Apart from a minority of the members, most don't seem like others knowing their level. Most don't like others knowing their level. While others are communicating, I asked Old Man Hermes with a whisper, hoping to understand more of the corruption. Hermes told me this isn't something I can come into contact with at my current level. Just learning of it alone would cause me to be corrupted. It's that scary? Godzilla, fuck yeah we are, baby! We're on a grind set! We're on a fucking grind set, baby! Just you wait. By the time I finish reading Lord of the Mysteries and COI, I'm gonna be able to read like 40 chapters a stream. I'm gonna be reading all of ORV in like a month and a half. It's gonna be something to behold. I'm gonna reach Eminem level speeds by the end of this. Eminem and Rap God. That old man told me that the corruption that originates from underground can be ignored because it will... Wait, fuck! There was something in... wait. The stuff from last chapter, I forgot to... regarding Mr. Dora and stuff, I forgot to add that to my notes. Let me just do that really quickly, because I will forget. Every time I say that I will add it to my notes later, I don't. So let me just do it right now. Thunder, how's it going, man? Rap God, true creator. Bro, where is that bullshit? Come on. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Okay, that's it. Let's keep going. Bro, what? What am I on? Oh, there it is. Alright, let's keep going. Wait. Oh my god, sorry. I have so many tabs open. This is like really bad for me. No worries, Thunder. I appreciate you saying hi, man. Okay. Now I gotta actually get back to where I was actually reading. The old man told me that the corruption that originates from underground can be ignored because it will fade with time. A long time ago, in an era where the ancient gods were active, powerful creatures had attempted to resolve this problem completely. In the end, it just made things worse and caused tremendous losses. In the end, they gave up and switched their focus to sealing and guarding it. Oh, sealing and guarding it. That's the thought in Ankvalt's mind. He saw this like terrifying force that he knew he couldn't beat, so he resorted to just like putting it down there. It was like, I stand guard so that no one else will go down there. Ah, okay, that makes sense. From that day forth, although accidents happen occasionally, it was overall stable. Today, even if there are no seals or guards, as long as no one comes close or tries to go deep, there will be no incidents of corruption. What a surprising situation. It appears it doesn't recognize the protagonist of this era. Old Man Hermes mentioned the cosmos again and said that the situation there was more complicated, interesting, and more dangerous than I imagined. He said that even a Sequence 2 angel doesn't have much knowledge of the cosmos, they only have a general understanding. They aren't aware that apart from the dangers, there are too many other things. If it wasn't for the fact that he once knew an existence that was good at wandering the cosmos and learned plenty of things from that person, he wouldn't be able to tell me all of it. Yeah, doctors, yeah, I figured that. I was very curious, but I didn't hold out hope when I asked about the existence. Old Mr. Hermes didn't hide the truth. He said it was Mr. Dorr, Bethel Abraham. Mr. Dorr? I pretended not to know anything about him when asked about that person's level. Hermes didn't answer directly and only said that in the fourth epoch, even angels and demigods would address each other by their names in private. Those who could address everyone by their names and titles are in a small minority, of which Mr. Dorr is one. Aside from the Evernight Storm, Earth, and other deities. Is that so? Mr. Dorr's level really isn't that low. Storm? So Mr. Dorr was basically right beside the deities. Like Mr. Dorr was among them, the others were Evernight Storm, Earth, and other deities. It was basically deities, Mr. Dorr, everybody else. Okay, let me add this to my notes. Mr. Dorr is kind of goated and woaded. He was like, listen, I am the protagonist of my era, Roselle. And I'm part of the supporting cast of later eras because unfortunately I'm still alive and can talk to people, but yeah, the sheer aura of Bethel Abraham making all of his descendants lose their fucking mind because he's yelling into the void, help me, get me out of here, out of his fucking mind. Whew, then I shall put aside my worries regarding the underground for the time being. Hermes' words and the deep door in the City of Miracles corroborate each other. Ankval tried his best to resolve the problem, but ended up with fear and trauma. From the looks of it, the greatest possibility for the coming of the apocalypse is probably the cosmos, and my current sequence doesn't qualify me to know of it. Oh! The cosmos isn't about ASG! The cosmos is about the world. Oh, sorry, the world actually being invaded by whatever's in the cosmos. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, okay. After reading a few pages, his eyes lit up and locked onto one of the pages. December 31st, the end of a year, is the most suitable time to make a resolution. He probably yells for fun. In McSeely's headcanon, Bethel knows he's not getting out, but he's like, you know what? My children are kind of fucking assholes, and they didn't even try to get me out. So you know what? I'm gonna take revenge on them. Okay? Okay? I'm gonna fucking rap in their ear like I'm the true creator. I'm just gonna fucking rap in their ear all the time until they go lose their mind. I love that. You're telling me the story could be inspired by Lovecraftian horror? No, what would give you that idea, McSaley? This seems like a good old-fashioned, shonen isekai. You know, nothing out of the, nothing dark or weird at all. Huh. I've already thought of where the 8 secret mausoleums should be built. I'm just clueless about the last one. This has to be more covert than the previous 8, or it'll be meaningless. After a long thought, I thought of a place, the nameless island where Grimm was buried. Of course, the abyss is also an option, but I can't find a living devil in that area, so I can't enter, and I can't force them to become my citizen and help me build a mausoleum. Ordinary humans can't survive there, and even Beyonders, and even very powerful Beyonders find it difficult to resist the corrosive properties. Regardless, the environment on that nameless island seems pretty good. The Prince of Abolition and the Fourth Epoch's understanding of the citizen is too limited. The rule of an emperor is not limited to humans and humanoid creatures. All living things shall be my subjects. Imagine the shit Bethel Abraham would do. I don't even... Bro. I feel like Bethel Abraham would be like, it's on sight. I know you're a god, but motherfucker, get ready to get your ass beat. And then he would die. But he would put on a show there for a moment. For a moment, it would be glorious. There are many extraordinary creatures on that island with no intelligence. They have long worshipped and followed me. I can totally drive them into building a mausoleum. When I wrote this, I suddenly recalled... Good lord. I suddenly recalled that experience. Because I dreamt of Grimm, I brought Edwards, Benjamin, and the others back to this nameless island and discovered that those extraordinary creatures lived together in harmony. They were gathered together and holding a ritual, and amongst them was the deceased Grimm. I was shocked back then. I felt a fear that I hadn't felt in a long time, and everything appeared bizarre. Bizarre? Bizarro sorcerer? Do you think Bethel can kill one of the gods? No. But I think it could be a huge pain in their ass. That time, William and Polly died. Only Edwards and Benny survived. If I hadn't become powerful and controlled a Grade Zero artifact, everyone would have died. The powers that affected that island and those creatures came from the cosmos, and those who were corrupted would return to the source after dying. Bro would outshine a galaxy, a true key of the stars. True. Thankfully, the power of the cosmos can only project a small portion of it into the real world. I finally solved the problem and made that nameless island my secret base. Now it's time to use it. After reading that, Klein knew exactly where Roselle's final mausoleum was. This was on one hand because the corruption caused by the cosmos had truly appeared in front of him, and on the other, the nameless island wasn't that secretive. Other than the Emperor, there were 2 survivors, Edwards and Benjamin. Before this, did Edwards and Benjamin pass away normally, resulting in them being unable to divulge secrets? Or was it that after Roselle built the mausoleum, he had these 2 stay on the island forever, resolving the problem of spirit channeling? Of course, if Roselle had the corresponding seal artifacts or Beyonder powers, he could make them completely lose their memories. However, he didn't see the corresponding content on the last page. Instead, there was a diary entry that vaguely revealed some of Roselle's thoughts in his later years. Imagine Bethel teleporting and attacking God away over and over again. Well, exactly, right? Roselle would just play a big game of chicken. He would just be like, he would stand here, and then as soon as a god would come approaching, he would just like TP away, and then he would wait, and then the god would find him again and rush at him with all their might, and he would just TP again, and the god's like, ah! He's like, Bethel, I'll find you one day. December 27th, I've been feeling uneasy recently because I have no confidence in what will happen next. I no longer yearn for help. I'm very satisfied if they can remain neutral. I feel like this is referring to him trying to become a god, and him saying like, I don't want any help off the gods, as long as they just don't try to interfere and try to fuck me up. I'm fine and trying to just do this myself. I have put myself in the most dangerous situation. This is an act of me taking initiative, but it is also a choice due to a lack of options. Sometimes I'm confused. How the hell did I end up like this? Was I too extreme, or was this the only way? Now that I've reached this point, I can only go forward. If I succeed, it will be sunshine and rainbows. All my hopes placed on one sentence. Life is possible in death's embrace. From the looks of it, the Emperor really chose the method of making use of one's revival after death to escape madness and corruption. This is insane. It's like he's playing a game of Russian roulette with all 6 chambers filled, hoping that one of the rounds misfires. People who don't like going to the extremes and those who are good at coming up with all kinds of strange ideas wouldn't even consider this. Perhaps it's because the enemy can't guess it that this might give the Emperor a chance of living. Klein considered how to find this nameless island. I remember that the person who visited the nameless island, Benjamin, seems to be of the Abraham family. This can be asked by Miss Magician. I'll meet her soon. There's no need to get Mr. Fool to pass a message. I'll get Queen Mystic to ask about the descendants of Edwards, William, and Polly. With this in mind, Klein disappeared from the Great Fog. Did he get Roselle's final plan? Isn't it basically just for Roselle to basically die, resurrect in the mausoleum? Because the plan is that because he would be a Sequence 0 Black Emperor, when he died, only the characteristics and uniqueness of the Black Emperor pathway would come to him. So that way he could just consume those and then be free of all the corruption of switching pathways. Although, can I just say, for Roselle to have switched internally a pathway and then switched to a different pathway and still maintain this level of rationality while also possibly being affected by the cosmos because he went to the moon is like insane. This motherfucker has like everything against him, and he's like he's hazily walking through a fog, but he's still heading in the right direction. Like, he's all fucked up, like he can't see anything, he's blind, his fucking walking cane has been taken away, he's walking in pure fog, can't feel for a thing, but he's still heading with his North Star. He's like, I think I still have a plan. Like, you can shit on Roselle all you want, and Lord knows I do. This guy's actually kind of fucking goated. That's a fucking good plan. Now, I myself would have just not gotten in that predicament in the first place and just become a god, like, really easily of my pathway. Of course, not everyone's me, right? Okay, okay, I get that. But, like, so, like, Roselle's doing pretty good. Yes, I know I'm an asshole, okay? 11:06, making contact. After returning to the real world, Klein took out a pen and paper and wrote, "Investigate the nameless island, which led to the death of Grimm, Williams, and Polly. This can be done through the descendants of Edwards, Benjamin Abraham, and the descendants of the 3 deceased." This was a letter to Queen Mystic. So Klein didn't write the reason. He believed that she would understand. Gotta cut him some slack, not everyone is well. Guilty as charged. After folding the letter, Klein found a candle and began the ritual. I summon in my name an invisible creature that roams the upper realms and strange spiritual body that is friendly to humans. A messenger belonging solely to Bernadette Gustave. Klein then activated his spirit vision because he sensed something, but he didn't see anything. But he discovered that the letter placed on the altar had disappeared. That's a special messenger, Klein thought. Next time, I'll use my spirit body vision threads. My spirit body threads vision. Is that always how it's written? That feels so fucking weird. Klein was stunned as he sighed. In the evening, under the illumination of the street lamps, a carriage drove through an intersection of the Backland Bridge and the East Borough. Wearing a long dress and a dark cloak, Forrest paid the fare of 3 solai before alighting from the carriage. She slowly walked the shadows of the street. At the end of the previous tarot gathering, she had swiftly overcome her laziness, packed up, and went out to visit her former teacher, classmates, and colleagues. Yeah, exactly, Godzilla, but you can't exactly blame him, because when you pick your pathway, you don't it's so early into your situation that you don't even know that, like, hey, like, this might be a problem, that there are gods, that the gods are sequence zeros of your path. Like, there's so much that you just don't know, and then you kind of just get fucked. In the case of Roselle, of course, Klein got lucky because of Roselle's diary entry, but like Klein could have just as easily. Imagine if, obviously, Marauder is like impossibly hard to find, but imagine if, in the same vein, Klein chose Marauder because somehow it was available through the church as well. Bro, he would be so cooked. He could never fight him on. As for the reason, there was no need for a special reason. It was normal to care about friends and acquaintances after a war. And the reason was that it wasn't last week was because in the eyes of normal citizens, the situation of Backland was tense. There was a new round of attack. There could be a new round of attacks at any moment. So everyone tried their best not to leave the house. During their visit, Force had originally planned on diverting the topic onto strange tales at the hospitals, but to her surprise, there was no need. Everyone would chat about such things of their own accord. Force knew that it was no illusion, so she felt horrified, suspecting that she was gonna have a nightmare. I don't have to make any changes at all. As long as the patients mirror miraculous recoveries and change to them having physical wounds healed only to go bonkers, it would make for an excellent horror story. Furthermore, it happens in a city that everyone is familiar with and in a hospital that people can come into contact with. This is amazing. The only problem is that the story will lack sufficient emotion. A female patient passionately kissing a face that's covered in mushrooms? That's insane, Audrey thought. Or Forrest thought. The OG way to choose the right pathway is if a god actually wants you to be nurtured into being an equal. Yeah. But Church didn't have choosing Marauder, just serving as actually. You're acting like you can find you can fight Zaratul. You think Klein can't fight Zaratul? Just you wait. Just you wait, Khaled. I say that as someone who I say that to someone who has finished the novel I'm currently reading, which is funny. At this moment, her Force's vision blurred. She saw a figure walk out of the shadows. The figure wore a black trenchcoat and a half-top hat. It was none other than the crazy adventurer of the Five Seas, Gehrman. Although Force knew that Mr. World wouldn't hurt her and was there to fulfill the contract, she couldn't help but tense up. Good evening. Her footsteps slowed down. Klein nodded without a word. He then turned and walked into a secluded alley. Despite the dark environment, Force didn't say a word and followed behind. When they reached the depths of the alley, Klein looked around and said, "Ask your teacher if he knows of this person, Benjamin Abraham. If he knows him, I want all the information and the texts and pictures he left behind." "Oh, okay," Force said, nervously waiting for the world to teleport her somewhere, but she never expected him to mention something else for no reason. She didn't ask why, just nodded. Then she took a deep breath and waited for Gehrman to approach her, grab her shoulder, and teleport. But after a few seconds, nothing happened. She then heard him say, "Write it now." "Write it now? But I didn't bring a pen, paper, envelope, or stamp." Before she could finish her sentence, the 4 items were thrown at her. Gehrman's like, "Write the thing, now!" Force caught the items and took a few steps out, and using the gas lamps at the end of the alley, which had, she wrote the letter to her teacher. With both hands in his pockets, Klein waited patiently. In fact, he had long been lurking around Miss Magician without showing himself, fucking stalker ass. According to the address Force provided, he had been secretly monitoring her from the moment she left home. His monitoring was done by getting his marionettes to pray to the sea god Kalvatu occasionally, and his actual body staying above the grey fog. With the help of his true vision, Klein was currently certain that Zaratul hadn't targeted Miss Magician. After knowing that Miss Magician had met Zaratul's marionette, how could Klein take it easy? Now that he was certain that Zaratul had been attracted by the Abraham family's sealed artifact or his Saint of Secrets Botes, as for a mere sequence 6 like the Magician, she wasn't worthy of notice. After a few minutes, Forrest finished writing. She sealed the envelope and asked, "Do I just throw it into the mailbox now?" Forrest asked. She felt that she had to do it herself. She couldn't hand it to Mr. World, or it might bring danger to her teacher. Bro, you think he would kill your teacher? I mean, he might, but like he wouldn't do that. I mean, unless he was having a bad day. Of course, if Gehrman insisted, Forrest felt that there was nothing she could do. Klein nodded. "Return after you're done posting it." Whew, thank God. Forrest let out a long sigh. Turning around, she ran to the end of the street and found a mailbox. After finishing all this, she returned to the dark alley, and without waiting for Gehrman to speak, she handed over the fountain pen and the remaining 2 stamps and said one was enough. Klein gave Miss Magician a look before he took the stamp and said, "This means your teacher lives within 100 kilometers. Forrest's expression froze. Ah, dummy. Come on, Forrest, you gotta be smarter than that. What's the deal? I also know your teacher lives in Pritz Harbor, and there's a high chance that he hasn't moved away yet. As for why I gave you 3 stamps, it was intentional." Klein muttered as he took steps towards Miss Magician. He then reached out and grabbed the lady's shoulder. Forrest unconsciously lowered her head again. The colors around her became saturated. When the things and colors returned to normal, Forrest raised her head to thank him. However, Gehrman had disappeared. He just TP'd her and immediately left. He was like, "I'm not waiting around for all the niceties, fuck him." Forrest looked up in a daze and realized that she was standing in an empty corner. Forrest pulled at her cloak and walked out the door with a hint of fear, only to see men dressed as pirates. There were scimitars? Guns either hanging or lodged by their waist. While drinking hard liquor, they discussed the strengths of their fleets of Faceac and Lone in high spirits. Quite a number of beautifully dressed women were among them. She was wearing a long, dark-colored cloak in Backland style. Her brown hair was long and curled. She had a rather mature temperament, but her expression of fear made it look like Forrest was a lamb for slaughter. It was so disharmonious and eye-catching that everyone looked at her. She felt a little familiar with what these people had said to her. It was as if they were part of the language branch she had learned, but she couldn't understand them. Where the hell am I? What am I doing here? Who are they? As Forrest was at a loss, a plump man squeezed over and said, 10 soli, 1 night, in broken Loanese. Forrest had been involved in many Beyonder circles over the years. Although she didn't know where she was, she knew very well what kind of situation she was in. An indescribable aura emanated from her body, making the people around her subconsciously avoid her gaze. This was the authority of a judge, a qualitative change in the ability of an arbiter. Oh, cool. Have a good night, Nagito. I appreciate you popping by, buddy. Just threw her into some pirate playground. Sound! A long time no see, man. How you doing? The best type of Uber driver? In and out? True. Berserk Sea, Theros Island. Danet's hid in the shadows, watching for the intelligence peddler, Bart's. 11:07. Alright, 3 more chapters, so we should be done in like an hour or so. Oh. Hour and a half, and we're 6 chapters in. Alright, half an hour saved. We're doing good. As a hunter who had a shadow cloak, Danet's hiding and monitoring abilities were always pretty good. Back then, he had even helped Gehrman lay an ambush for Medici. At this moment, he didn't show any traces of himself, but he was bored. When will such a life end? Tracy, hurry up and appear. No, not now. Wait for Anderson's turn. He was worried that a pirate admiral at Vice Admiral Ailment Tracy's level would discover that he was hiding in the dark. Of course, if he wore the boxing glove, everything wouldn't be a problem. As long as he made the decision quickly, fear and apprehension wouldn't be able to catch up to him. You seem troubled, Danetz suddenly heard a voice ring out. Danetz jumped. At the same time, he cast his gaze to the source of the voice. He saw Anderson hiding in the woods. Dog shit! It was unknown if Danitz was cursing at Anderson or himself. When the hell did you come? 2 minutes ago. You hid pretty good. I didn't manage to find you immediately, so I followed your hiding habits and just asked a question. If I had remained calm, would you have failed to discover me? In theory, but as an experienced hunter, I have more than one way. Just as Danitz was about to ask what other ways, he saw Bartz extinguish the candle and prepare to sleep. Minutes later, the figure of the intelligence peddler, Bartz, appeared by the window in the darkness. With a nimble leap, he landed in the shadows outside the house. This was where Danitz had been hiding. Having re-entered the shadows, he was almost stepped on by the target. Bartz walked towards the sea under the cover of the shadows. Dog shit! Only then did Danitz appear, giving Bartz the middle finger. He said, "Fuck you, bitch." Anderson also left the woods and smiled. I think we'll hit the jackpot tonight. I hope it's Tracy, Danitz said. He used the shadows that were everywhere at night and took the lead in following the intelligence peddler. Not too stupid, Anderson observed before chuckling. As he closed out the volume. Sounds good, Sound. I'm going to try to stream at roughly the time that I did today for the next couple of days. Just because I'm going to be doing longer streams than I normally intended to with working. Because there'll be like 8 or 9 chapters. Just because I want to finish the volume on Saturday. So we can do like a long morning stream on Saturday. Fucking hammer the volume out. Hell yeah. 15 minutes later, Bartz arrived at the beach and stood there. He didn't wait too long. In the darkness of the sea, a huge outline appeared. A black ship. The Black Death. No worries, Godzilla. You have a good night, buddy. I appreciate you popping by. Vice Admiral Ailment's Tracy flagship. Danitz instantly became excited. He subconsciously moved a distance forward, hoping to confirm if Tracy was there. As the boat appeared, the two people in the shadows could see sailors busy on the deck. Good night, Yuha Baha. Is there a dock for docking here, or will they give Bartz a dinghy and let him row himself over? Just as these thoughts flashed through his mind, he heard Anderson say in a suppressed voice, "Leave." Danitz's greatest strength was that he was good at following the instructions of an authoritative figure, be it Edwina or Gehrman. He would follow the instructions to a T. So he silently left the beach. When he could no longer see the Black Death, he asked, "Aren't we going to confirm if Tracy's on board?" Anderson chuckled. Never underestimate a Beyonder who's famous at sea but has lived to this day. Every admiral is a target you must be careful of. Don't be careless. Admiral of Blood Seigneur, Admiral Hell Ladwell, they were all pirates who were easily killed by a particular crazy adventurer. So isn't Tracy worth paying more attention to, considering how she survived Gehrman's attacks? Anderson said. After careful thought, Danitz inexplicably felt that Anderson's words made sense. Well, no, because he was a sequence 6 at the time he fought her. If he was a sequence 5, she'd be dead as fuck. After coughing a few times, his throat began to swell with pain. I told you to be careful, Anderson clenched his fist. He coughed lightly, but it wasn't as serious as Danitz. Tracy must have spread all kinds of ailments around the ship. If anyone approaches, they'll be infected and exposed. With this wide a range, it means she's completely digested the Sequence 5 potion and has a chance of advancing to Sequence 4. Couldn't it be that she's already a Sequence 4? Danitz asked. If that was the case, you were either on the Black Death, or you would have become a victim of the Black Death, of the Black Death disease, and you're on your deathbed. Anderson cast his gaze towards the beach. Tracy must have used some kind of trick. It's likely that she only maintained the target area of the ailments to be at the front and ignored the other directions. With that said, Anderson clapped his hands and smiled. For real, Tracy's biggest... She survived the hunt, exactly. You survived. Gehrman's hunt to... That's good. Oh, I'm sorry, you're a Vice Admiral? You know what? Everyone's a Vice Admiral today. You survived Gehrman? Based. Isn't our encounter proof that Tracy's on the ship? You can inform Gehrman now. Dennis didn't hesitate and immediately set up a ritual and summoned the messenger. 3 in the morning in the East Borough. Apart from the moonlights, it was pitch black. Klein, wearing his cotton pajamas and sleeping cap, woke up. I love how Klein, having had lived as Dwayne for so long now, is like used to the finer things. He has like fully cotton pajamas, 100%. He has a sleeping cap on. He probably takes like a nightcap before he goes to bed of like well-made scotch or some shit, because he's just used to the finer things in life now. He's like, I deserve this, okay? I'm doing a lot, okay? I'm saving this godforsaken fucking city. I deserve a drink, okay? Klein then saw Raynette walk out of the void. Opening the letter, he got out of bed, took out a pen, and wrote, "Return to the port city. Wait for further instructions." After watching Raynette leave, he changed into his shirt, put on his vest, tied his bow tie, and put on his black trench coat. Tonight, Gehrman joins the hunt. Let's go. He then went above the grey fog and did a divination to the level of the danger level of the operation. He received almost no revelation. Without any hesitation. Wait, when it says almost no revelations, does that mean there's basically no danger? Like, as in for Klein, a fully digested sequence 5 Tracy is like not even worth a mention, which is fair because she's a mere human. Without any hesitation, he returned to the real world and stood in front of the mirror. He put on his top hat, and on the bunk bed in the room, Quanos and Inuni opened their eyes. Oh shit, bro. Klein doesn't even have to get on the ship. He can just make his marionettes do it. A sequence 5 and a sequence 4. There's no fucking chance Tracy survives. Klein might show up at the end just to like kill her himself, just to be like, Gehrman was the one who did it, bitch. I want you to know that. Oh, that's so good. In an empty room on the Black Death, a figure quickly outlined itself. None other than Gehrman! Let's go! Under the moonlight, Klein swept his gaze and found a chair to sit down as he admired the sea vista outside. In the captain's cabin 1 level away, Tracy, who was dressed in a white blouse and beige pants, watched Bartz leave the room in disgust. She had just learned that Danitz and Anderson had been staying at Theros Island. They're related to Gehrman. Is he looking for me? Tracy narrowed her eyes as she walked towards the window with no hesitation. She was prepared to instruct the sailors on the deck to steer the ship away from the waters. He's not... She's in her room alone. He doesn't even need to do anything. He can just control her. He can just make her his marionette and just leave immediately. No one would even know anything. They might hear like a glass break. By the time they get to her fucking room next morning, she's gone. Oh, this is gonna be so good. Oh, bitch. Oh, we've been waiting for this. At this moment, her thoughts turned sluggish. It was as if she had sunken into a state where she knew she was in a dream, but unable to wake up. Not good. Black flames erupted from the surface of Tracy's body, trying to burn away any influences. But while the flames were initially able to flow smoothly, they began to turn intermittent. A strong sense of despair surged within Tracy. Desperately, she condensed a layer of crystalline ice around her, retracting the invisible threads toward her and wrapping herself. At that moment, the door to the cabin opened. Walked in Gehrman Sparrow, wearing a silk top hat and black trench coat, and politely closed the door. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Am I disturbing you? Let me get the door for you. I would hate for anyone to disturb our conversation. Do you have a minute right now? Just a quick one-on-one. Just a quick, like, the type of shit like your corporate manager says to you when you're about to get like a dog shit review, and they're like, "Hey, like you're doing great. Do you have a couple minutes to talk? I just want to get HR on the phone really quickly. It'll only take 2 minutes. Nothing, like, just let's get it put on your calendar, though, just to, know that we have this discussion. And she's like, and she's there shitting her pants. With a light cracking sound, the entire cabin instantly turned quiet. The sound of the crashing waves was no longer present, as though they had been separated from the real world. Devil, how's it going, man? As for the invisible spider webs that entangled Tracy, they seemed to misunderstand the order that was given and tightly bound Tracy up, preventing her from moving or using her powers. Devil, Vershawn, how's it going, guys? You know, it would have sounded less perv if she was not a demoness. Oh, yeah, I guess, but I didn't even consider it that way. Because Klein is basically an asexual. I don't even think of him like that. He's, like, in my mind, he's literally just an asexual. I don't even... Distortion. As her thoughts returned to normal, her brain no longer frozen. What do you want? She couldn't hide the fear as Gearman slowly approached. What she couldn't understand was why the other party would have given up on the attempt to make her a marionette. The reason why Klein did so was because he was worried that Tracy and Katerina were related by blood, meaning Tracy's death would cause the demigod who was good at hexes to sense something. Klein stopped in front of the demoness. And perv. Klein is a money sexual. Never forget the sequence 6 of Assassin Pathway. Messed up family. Oh, Katerina is coming. Gearman's silence made Tracy's heart sink, as though she had fallen into an ice cavern. When he saw the despair on Tracy's face, Klein took out a piece of paper from his pocket and made it fly towards her. With a whoosh, the slip of paper cut through a tiny portion of the spider webs like a piece of metal. It lacerated Tracy's left arm. The surface of the paper quickly dyed with a bright red tinge. Tracy originally imagined that the piece of paper would come at her throat, but she never expected it to only target her arm. She was stunned. She realized and asked, "Your target is Katerina? You are her descendant?" "Not just a descendant, I'm her child," Tracy laughed. Dog, my calves, hamstring, and her thighs are all cramping. If they're cramping, Devil, then that probably means you're low on electrolytes. Just get some like Gatorade or something. It'll be okay. And get some rest. It also probably means that is Katerina? Yeah, Katerina's sequence 3, McSeely. A demoness of unaging, yeah. Child daughter. Klein rejoiced over his caution in not killing her, causing Katerina to sense something. He subconsciously analyzed whether Katerina was a mother or father. I think she's a father, right? If Katerina was formerly also a male, it's possible that she's Tracy's father, but the problem is that she was already a demigod during the Pale disaster. As for the assassin pathway, a man will change into a sequence 7 change into a woman at sequence 7. In other words, if Katerina is Tracy's father, Tracy needs to be at least 1,300 years old, but that's impossible for a sequence 5. Even most sequence 4s and 3s can't live that long. There's only one answer, is that Tracy was born by Katerina in the last few decades, an advanced maternal age of more than 1,000 years. She's your mom? No, she's my mother. My mom is another person. She used to be my father. You guys have fucked up families. But isn't that the reason why you spread catastrophes to the world? Klein controlled his clown powers to control his face, making him look unimpressed. Tracy, who was already in a dire situation, was now beginning to abandon herself to despair. Without waiting for Gehrman's response, she gave a self-deprecating laugh. Maybe it was a mistake since I was born. Damn, bro, we're actually gonna get the depression tales here? What the fuck? Oh wait, I didn't change the number. Hold on. 1108. Abnormal parents, abnormal family relationships, abnormal sect members. They sculpted me and harmed me. At the age of 8, I found out that my father, who I've always admired, had suddenly become a woman. He was becoming like a dainty flower by the day, becoming more and more adept at using his charms. Later on, he even found a male friend and gave birth to my younger brother. Can you imagine that kind of feeling? Hold on. Could Katerina have been a sequence 4 Iron-Blooded Knight, allowing her, I don't know, to live really long, and then switch to, and then have Tracy as a male, and then switch to 3, which is a higher sequence, so she would switch to a woman? Maybe? After I ran away from home and came to sea, I found a normal sense of self-recognition and a social identity after years. I finally understood what I wanted. Then a potion bottle turned me into a woman. A woman. Wait, Tracy was also a guy? This is so fucking... What the fuck is this family? Your instigation skills are pretty good, Klein listened. Tracy turned to gape, but in the end, she only sighed and smiled. I admit that I was trying to win your sympathy. Everyone wants to live, right? But I didn't lie. That was my life. Before you kill me, I'd like to ask you a question. It's a question that won't put you in a difficult spot. What is it? Klein asked. Before you came to kill me the last time, did Helene know? She didn't know what would happen. Really? Before I die, can I ask you for another favor? If you can see her again, tell her that I feel guilty about all that I did in the past, but I don't regret it. What kind of a fucking sociopath is like, hey, I know I like hurt you and stuff, and I'm sorry about it, but like I don't feel guilty about it. Like fuck you, really. Like I'm sorry that you feel. I'm sorry. Like that is some fucked up psychopath shit. Like that is some like A-class manipulator bullshit. They're like, listen, I'm sorry that you feel bad, but like I didn't do anything. Okay, I didn't do anything. I'm sorry that you feel bad. I am sorry about that. But like I didn't do anything, bro. Fucking A-class manipulator bullshit. At this moment, Tracy shook her head, but failed thanks to the restriction of the ice and the spider webs. She could only laugh at herself. Forget it, there's no need to tell her. Just leave it. You can do what you were here for. With that, Tracy closed her eyes. After a few seconds, she didn't feel the pain she expected. She then heard Gehrman say this, "No one is to disturb me." Tracy was perplexed as she said, "No one is to disturb me." Just as she said it, the same voice echoed on the Black Death, greatly amplified. The pirates didn't have any doubts about it. It was as though they were following a specific pattern, instinctively avoiding the captain's cabin. Devil, you're in Toronto laying down on a bench at 10:30 at night. You are undoubtedly being mistaken for a homeless person. That's fine. That's fine. We've all been there. We've all had nights where you're like, damn, bro, I look fucking homeless. Shit happens. I get it. But like, that's undoubtedly what's happening. Let's be clear. At the same time, Tracy saw Gehrman take off his hat and press it to his chest. He bowed as though he was bidding farewell. Then she felt as though she was isolated from the entire world. There was silence, and Gehrman was gone. She had obtained the environment of not being disturbed as she wanted. A layer of ice on Tracy's body began to melt, but the invisible spiderwebs continued to bind her firmly. Hence, she could only stand there like a statue. Do a Fentia? He didn't kill me. Tracy looked ahead in disbelief. She didn't believe that Gehrman hadn't taken this action because he pitied her. This lunatic had killed many pirates and had never shown mercy. As for Tracy, although she believed that she wasn't a typical demoness, how could she not have done anything bad as a pirate? She was experienced in both the slave trade and plundering. Similarly, Tracy didn't believe Gehrman was moved by her beauties or experiences. There's something else. A thought flashed through her mind as she made the connection in her mind and came to a conclusion. It's because of Mother. As for demonesses, they're good at hexes. Once I die, Mother will notice it. When she discovers that there's a problem, she'll make preparations, preventing Gehrman from finding his target. That's why he allowed me to live, but made it impossible for me to contact anyone. From the looks of it, regardless of the outcome, targeted at Mother, he may return to kill me. If I want to live, I have to succeed in saving myself. Bitch, you're dead. In Tracy's heart, she didn't have much of a relationship with her mother, Katerina. This demoness of unaging had lived for a long time, and most of the time she maintained her youthful state of mind by dating young women. Or by dating young men. She was passionate about the occasional children that she had whenever she found it novel to have one, and at other times she was indifferent. Jesus Christ. However, as she grew older, Katerina's evaluation of Tracy was that she resembled her past self more and more. Hence, she was doting on her and helped. However, Tracy didn't want this. She only wanted to lose her original gender, putting her in a more painful situation. Although I hate her and blame her, I rely on her, hoping that she can respect my opinion more. I hope that she can escape Gehrman. Bro, why? Fuck her, let her die. On the one hand, she was trying to save herself and to inform her mother of Gehrman. Tracy found it questionable that Gehrman, who was likely a Sequence 4, and a newly advanced Sequence 4 at that, would be able to do any damage to her mother who had survived the Fourth Epoch. But Gehrman did have other helpers, such as the Death Consul, who even Mother feared. Tracy finally collapsed to the ground and tried to roll towards the desk, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't roll. The person she was fighting against was none other than herself. Who had been distorted and magnified. Get Sequence 4 of Hunter from her, then let her die? Tracy? But she doesn't have Sequence 4 of Hunter, what do you mean? Oh, you mean Tracy wants to get Sequence 4 Hunter from her mother so that she can become a guy again, and then she's like, she can die, I don't give a shit? Oh, that's what you mean. Above the gray fog, Klein sat at the chair of the fool. And he placed the paper stained with Tracy's blood on the table and wrote, Tracy's mother, Katerina's current location. After putting down the pen, he held the two pieces of paper and leaned back into his chair. Yeah, Adam, we're reading that one too. Ramiro already told me. Putting down the pen, Klein held the paper and leaned back and closed his eyes. After repeating the word 7 times, he entered a dream and saw a tall, Gothic tower bell. Around the bell tower, the white-robed Katerina stood in front of the shadows of a few houses. She observed the surroundings with a heavy expression as though she was searching for something. As for the moon hanging high in the sky, its position was identical to what he had seen before. This meant Katerina was still in Backland. She was in the West Borough, in search of someone. 1109. Patience. Guys, do you understand the fucking pace I'm on right now? This is generational pace. If I can finish this chapter in the next, 10-15 minutes or so, I would have shaved off an hour 15 of what my regular time would have been to read 9 chapters. And I didn't gloss over much. I've been, reading it pretty much word for word. I, occasionally shorten stuff, but, Like, I'm on a fucking generational run right now. This is insane. Let me change the title really quickly so that I don't fuck it up tomorrow. By the way, what's a good place for me to end tomorrow? Again, I'm looking in the 8 or 9 chapter range so that I can finish volume 5 on Saturday. You guys, Romero or like whoever is here, you don't have to get me that right now. Just if you guys could think about it before tomorrow night so that I can schedule a stream in the morning, that'd be great. But yeah. Let's keep going. After ending the divination and returning to the real world, Klein walked to the room outside the rental flat and pondered there. Still, there's another chance for digesting the potion. He muttered as he rummaged for some items. He took the 2 marionettes and disappeared. 1360, fuck you. In Backland, he no longer dared to use Flaming Jump, afraid that it would catch Zaratul. After all, it was impossible for him to always have the opportunity to ignite Will's paper crane to save himself. This was a sign of disrespect to a snake of fate. In the blink of an eye, Klein appeared in the back of a Gothic-style bell tower in his dream. Immediately following that, he and his 2 marionettes split apart, occupying different hidden spots. I remember what's about to happen. Oh, fuck you guys. I know this is going to be a bad ending. Oh, fuck you guys. After doing all this, Klein turned a rat into a marionette and allowed it to run to the edge of his rage of control. He then chanted, "The great god of war, the symbol of iron and blood, the ruler of chaos and strife, demoness of Katerina is in this area." Since Klein was fulfilling his agreement with Medici, he also hoped that this creature would step into a trap that might possibly be for him. At the same time, he had doubts about Medici's intentions. He had no intention of urgently getting help from the Church of the Evernight or Queen Mystic. He planned on watching from the sidelines to watch the situation. Just as the prayer ended, the grey rat suddenly twitched and fell quiet in the rubbish bin. It had already lost its life and was no longer Klein's marionette. This was a way to prevent himself from being marked by Medici's evil spirits. What? Why did he kill the rat? What? As for him, after giving up on that rat marionette, he left the area where the Bell of Order was located with Quanos and Anuni. He also made the winner pray to Kalvatua a few kilometers away. After the prayer, the 2 of them continued to retreat, widening their distance. Then, Klein hid in a storage room at a house and went above the grey fog. He then beckoned for the Sea God Scepter and looked into the prayer of light of the winner and observed the area. At the same time, with his other hand, he placed the piece of paper that was stained with Tracy's blood. With a medium like this, and a great general scope, it didn't take long for him to find Katerina. Sever any connect. Oh, he prayed to Medici through the rat. Oh, clever boy. This black-haired, blue-eyed woman was dressed in a pure white robe. She looked like a weightless feather and was gently drifting across the streets and alleys. If it wasn't for the grey fog, Klein could only see the spirit body threads to see through her invisibility. After taking a deep breath, he waited for Medici to appear. He also observed Katerina, wanting to know what she was looking for. He suspected Katerina was targeting Tracy. Seconds changed to minutes as the crimson moon tilted, having wandered around the Bell of Order for a while. Katerina revealed a slightly frustrated, disappointed expression, as though she was about to leave the area. And Medici never appeared. This son of a bitch was lying to me. He didn't have Katerina as his goal. No, that's not necessarily the case. If that happened, then his condition would be meaningless. Medici has arrived and has chosen not to take action? He's waiting for the battle between Katerina and me, and the companions to reach an intense state before he appears? But he suspected that Medici was as careful and meticulous as he was, hoping to be the fisherman that pulled in the net. This is troublesome. Let's see who's more patient, Klein muttered. The second hand was beating at the same pace in the quiet night. Katerina's expression turned increasingly more gloomy. Suddenly, she cast her gaze on the glass window of a building. In the dim light, the glass window was like a mirror reflecting the things in front of it. Katerina's blue eyes sparkled as the surface of the mirror instantly turned dark, as though there were countless objects and layers of space hidden within. The glass window seemed to have become a passageway to the alternate world. With a thought, together with the various beyonder powers that Tracy had showcased, he suspected that Katerina was about to use the mirror world to leave this place and end her hunt. How could Medici still endure this? Klein tensed up as he wanted to put down the sea god scepter and return to the real world to act against the demoness. But he didn't move. He felt that he could still wait, because even if Katerina left the area, he could just find her again. When the time came, he could summon Eridas to ask about the target's abilities and items. Then he could seek the help of Bernadette or Church of Evernight to borrow a grade 1 artifact. I didn't hide my operation this time. If I were to borrow an artifact and the Archbishop assents to it, this meant that the goddess's true attitude towards George is that she doesn't like the king becoming the Black Emperor, but she only accepts it silently. If someone is willing to disrupt it, she's happy to help. At this moment, Katerina's expression turned to normal. She floated to the glass window and entered without any corporeal form. The layers of illusory words within the mirror converged as though they were moving away. At this moment, using his true vision to observe the area, Klein heard a shrill female scream. This cry came from another world. It contained extreme fear and disbelief. None of the residents in the area were jolted awake. No one heard a thing. Was that Katerina? What the hell happened to her? Medici is also an evil spirit and can use mirror blink. He's no stranger to the mirror world. Could it be that Medici was hiding in the mirror this entire time, waiting for her to throw herself into a trap? As his pupils dilated, the darkness and gloominess in the window disappeared. The mirror had lost its unique characteristics. Did Medici just kill a sequence 3 that quick? A few seconds later, the bottom of the glass window slowly bled, forming a liquid that slid down. In the area that the liquid passed, the surrounding grayish-white tint spread, covering its original pale yellow color. It was like a newly embedded stone. The drips of the liquid landed on the ground, dyeing it bright red. Upon seeing the scenes, Klein's face twitched. A powerful, senior Sequence 3 saint who had lived for over 1,000 years couldn't even put up any resistance. It was only silence. As for Klein, even if he counted his 2 marionettes and the artifacts he possessed, he was still a little weaker than Katerina. This meant that if he were to face Medici, he would end up no better. He would be similarly powerless and puny. Is this what a former King of Angel is capable of? Even though his strength is yet to recover, it still leaves one in such despair. Klein then returned to the real world, and he and Inuni swapped positions. When a Bizarro sorcerer switched positions, they could only choose 2 swapping their bodies or bodies and external objects. However, it was impossible to be too precise at his current level, so Klein wasn't able to leave behind whatever he wanted. He only chose to leave everything, or not leave everything. Dude, this person was someone like that we were only kind of okay because Azek was there, and this person got fucking one-tapped. It was like Medici was sitting there. He's like, oh, I'm not worried. She's gonna come here. When she does, I'll take care of it. Dead. What the fuck do you mean? Fucking ant. Inuni, who wore Gehrman's appearance, said to the glass window in a deep voice, I have already fulfilled my promise. A figure then appeared in the glass window, wearing a long black robe with red stripes, wearing a casual hood, revealing a soft outline. His skin was brown and he had a pale face. He was the gatekeeper possessed by Medici. "Well done," the young man said with a smile. "You did well too," Klein said. As he spoke, he blew at the monocle in his hand and wore it on his left eye. What? Hold on. Hold on. What? What? Is Klein just making Medici shit himself? Because Klein didn't get taken over by Amon. We know this. Do we know this? Bro, what? Yeah, no shit, I'm stun locked. What the fuck did you think was gonna happen? Excuse me? Fucking squeeze me? What? What? What do you mean? Did we just lose Inuni? Dude, Medici's gotta be shitting bricks. Oh my god. Bro, imagine walk into that mirror. Imagine walk into that mirror and Klein is sitting there and what do you call it? Medici's walking up. He's like, yo, I'm the fucking man, like I just killed a saint, took like 4 seconds. Took like 4 seconds, no problem. And then he walks up and he sees someone in front of him who's on the King of Angel who stands above him. He's like, bitch, fuck were you saying? What the fuck did you think this was, huh? Like, oh, you think you're so special, don't you? You think you're special? Shut the fuck up. Medici's like shitting, he's shitting himself. Oh my god. Ramiro, you are a bitch for making me stop here, bro. Oh my god, my biggest hater. Wait! Okay, wait, do we read one more? Hold on, because I probably can't sleep for a bit now. You guys are fucking assholes. That was the last paragraph, Maxine. That's why I'm so fucking ticked. You guys are such assholes, dude. Oh my god. Fucking, where's that meme? This is actually fucking Ramiro, dude. Oh my fucking god. This is you, Ramiro. I want you to know this. Holy shit. Actual fucking cancer, dude. Oh my god. Get away from me. Oh my god. What the fuck? You want me to read 2 more? Can I just do 1 more, please? Can I just do 1 more, please? Ah, fuck. Okay. We're gonna do 1 more. We're gonna do 1 more. The smile on Medici's face froze was the last sentence. Fuck it, I'm doing 1 more. I'm doing this is the last one. I'm not doing 11. Fuck it, I don't care. I don't care how bad a place it is. It cannot possibly be worse than this. No, I don't care. I can't, dude. I can't do 2 more. I have to sleep. I'm so fucking sleepy. I can't sleep after that. You guys are fucking actual. Oh, you guys are so mean. Fuck. God, fuck you guys. Fuck, okay. For a moment, the cold night became scorching hot, as though lava was surging within. However, everything returned to normal. Medici sized up Klein and smiled as though nothing happened. I'll say it. You have talent in being a provoker. Back when Zaratul digested his potion, even he didn't dare to pretend to be a mon in front of me. Oh my god, fuck you guys. You were gonna have me end there? 3 sentences in, it gives me the answer. Oh my god. You guys are such assholes, dude. Oh, Klein, my god. Oh my god. I should have thought... Dude, you know, that's so funny. Because I thought of something. Because I was like, dude, doesn't Amon wears monocle on the right side? And it said, like, Klein put it on the left side. And I thought of that. And I was like, oh no, I must just be imagining it. Oh, you guys are such assholes, dude. Oh my god. There wasn't even a hint of anger in his voice. He didn't mention why Zaratul didn't dare to do so, but his gaze swept across Klein as though he had fallen deep into a glacier, his body freezing. This is how his body felt. Even though he's separated by a marionette, the back of his neck still had goosebumps. Without needing Medici to say anything, Klein understood the hidden meaning behind these words. Anyone who dares to do such a thing would suffer the punishment of steel and blood. Don't you dare say we were bad at this last stream. True. Fair. Looking at Medici in front of him, who had converged aura but was giving off the feeling of a high level of superiority, Klein couldn't help but mutter, if it wasn't for the fact that a bizarre sorcerer potion has been digested to a degree, I wouldn't have thought that your willpower was as strong as steel, and your strength has returned to the level of at least a sequence 1, but now I can basically confirm. Under your calm demeanor, you're hiding a strong fear of Amon. This means you're at most a sequence 2. Besides, I was already mentally prepared to lose a marionette to digest the potion. I had to take the risk. If Danitz was here and he was given the opportunity to shout coward twice, he would quickly digest the provoker potion. Klein smiled and took off the monocle. Back in the Solomon Empire, Zaratul should already be an angel. How would he need to digest the bizarre sorcerer potion? I'm talking of the young Zaratul boy. This is consistent with the description from the grandpa in Leonard's body, Klein said. You've already finished off the demoness of white? What do you think? Also, one must be polite. Since Katerina calls herself the saintess of white, shouldn't then you shouldn't call her a demoness anymore. Polite? A hunter is teaching me manners? From the looks of it, provoking isn't limited to ridiculing others. Holy fuck, I almost couldn't pronounce that word. Danitz, who knows how to curse using 1 word, is a disgrace to hunters, Klein thought. I have fulfilled my promise. I think you don't mind giving me a small reward? Reward? Medici scoffed. I want to communicate with the Demoness of White. I want to ask her something. Just this? Yeah. No problem. Medici raised his right hand and grabbed at his glabella. From there, a blurry figure was pulled out, none other than Katerina, whose face was filled with horror. Can we have a private discussion? Klein said. Do you need a room where the two of you can be together? Medici chuckled. Think about it. Even if you want to hide the questions from me, I can still find out through Katerina's spirit. Unless you don't plan on returning her to me. Or are you a little boy who needs a sense of ritual? He's actually a fucking provoker. I have a way to make her forget my questions. That was both a truth and a lie. The truth was that he could use Havin Ramesses beyond her characteristic to complete the job. But it was pretty hard, and the chances of failure was high. The reason why he lied was because he had no intention of doing so. This would expose many things. He only had one purpose, to make Medici suspect that the answers obtained weren't the truth and there were some key hidden facts beneath the surface. Of course, Klein, who didn't have the extravagant hope of guaranteed success, after all, the person in front of him was the Red Angel, a master of conspiracies. Not bad. After Medici heard Klein's reply, his body vanished, projecting itself in the mirror. Klein glanced at the blood that had already coagulated on the grey stones and looked at the somewhat muddle-headed Katerina. He then took out candles, essential oils, herbal powder, and set up an altar to pray to the Evernight goddess. This was a skill he had mastered when he was still a Nighthawk. As this ritual was completed, an immense and terrifying power descended from the height. Klein's eyes darkened, and it was like dark night was compressed. He then saw more things around Katerina's spirits, flickering, light, and blurry mind storms. He then passed through these obstacles and faced Katerina's body of heart and mind. Has the cooperation between the Demoness sect and George III come to an end? Klein asked. Yes, Katerina said. Then why are you in Backlund? I'm in pursuit of Tracy. She took an important artifact from us. What artifact? It has something to do with the awakening of the goddess. Apart from its high level at grade 0, it doesn't have any other abilities. Oh, it does have to do with the Demoness. You people even changed Tracy's name to Tracy Cheek. Do you know where the other 8 mausoleums of George III are? They're separately located in the southwest suburbs of Backlund, Awa County, Eastchester County. The Demoness gave a simple account of all the locations. The 8 mausoleums have already been repaired. They temporarily deactivated the teleportation tunnel. Even if they had the charms, there's no way to open them. It's almost impossible to find them directly from the outside world. Other than Prince Grove, Duchess Georgina, the 2 angels of the family, and George III, no one can enter. No one? Is that a fucking challenge? You dare challenge the fool? Have you any idea what you do? The biggest hurdle is entering the ruins. Once entry is gained, what follows isn't that bad. The war has already broken out. There's no way George III can have every ruin guarded by a saint. The royal has 2 angels? Klein asked. In fact, that's not the case. It's likely that George III is also one. One of the 2 angels is the founder of the Lone Kingdom, Protector William I, who has survived since the 4th epoch. He is a Sequence 1 Hand of Order of the Arbiter pathway. That's a cool name. While the other is the former Duke of Southville, Delink Augustus. He is a Sequence 2 Balancer. As for how many grade 0 artifacts the family has, I have no idea. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, we got Sequence 1 and 2 of the Arbiter pathway now. Gio, we've got presents for you. Hand of Order. That's kind of a good name. It's not like amazing or anything, but it's fine. That's fine. The founder of the founder on the 10-pound note is alive. I love how Klein doesn't go like a monster from the 4th epoch is alive. He's like the man whose face is on my favorite note of all time is alive. Amazing. I must get his signature. I have the feeling that history has seeped into reality. Why are you working for George III? For a conqueror beyond our characteristic. It's already in our hands. Conqueror was the name of the Red Priest, sequence 1. Then who will it belong to? Then will it belong to the primordial demoness or the upper echelons of your sect? Who are the upper echelons of your sect? It will be sacrificed to the primordial. However, we have to find the sealed artifact that Tracy took first. Currently, it has been kept by the Saintess of Black. All the higher-ups have their own code names. After understanding, Klein terminated the spirit channeling, cleaned up the altar, and allowed the spirit of the demoness of White Spirit to return. As for himself, his body suddenly turned transparent. With the help of teleportation, he disappeared from the region. After watching Gehrman leave, the gloominess and the confusion on Katarina's face vanished, as her expression became astute. A few seconds later, Medici and Katarina walked out of the mirror together. The latter's figure was clear in flesh. She showed no signs of death. Congratulations. Thank you, Dr. Z. Are you saying that he was asking about the other 8 mausoleums of George III? The power of the spirit channeling came from Evernight? Medici asked. That's right. Katarina nodded. So he doesn't want the king to become emperor. To become the Black Emperor. But it's impossible to succeed, no matter how fast he advances. Is Katarina alive? Or is Katarina alive? It's impossible to succeed, no matter how fast he advances or how much help he has. There's no way he can resist the combined forces of the royal family, military, and that organization. No. If it's just the Augustus family with his level and strength, he won't be able to do anything unless Evernight personally descends. Why did he not kill her? Is he looking for some of that demon Ussi? What is happening here? I'm sorry. I cannot. Having said that, Katarina asked, I'm very puzzled. Why didn't you kill me after directly grasping the absolute advantage? Do you think you have the right to be my true target? That's pretty good. See, we can end it there. There's no problem. Never trust a conspirer. These people are bitches. These people are bitches. By the way, I feel like Klein, after doing that, is like so close to digesting his potion. He knows the formula for his next potion already. So Klein is gonna become a end of volume 5. Klein becomes a sequence 3 Scholar of Yore, and bro, Klein, when he gets that power, I feel like he'd be able to help. Isaac get his strength back to a degree, get Miss Messenger her strength back to a degree, and get Will Ossap and his strength to a degree. And oh my god, Klein at that point is like, you've got 2 angels, motherfucker? I'm sorry, the royal family has 2 angels? Motherfucker, I've got 3. Test me. Try me, motherfucker. Alright, fine, you guys are gonna be bitches. Alright, fine, we'll do one more. You guys are bitches. I want you to know that. I do it begrudgingly, but I will do it, goddammit. Fucking hate you guys. Nah, I'm kidding. I love you guys. I sleep very little nowadays. But sleep is for the weak. We ride at dawn, bitches. Let's go. Begrudgingly. I would like it written in the records. Oh, Kami's actually shitting himself because it's like 6 o'clock for him. I'm so sorry, Kami. Upon hearing Medici's reply, I'm sorry, Kami, if you were a member, I totally would have ended stream there, sorry, I would totally have done that. Yeah, my bad. Upon hearing Medici's reply, Caterina's expression froze. Medici laughed. You must have become a demigod at the end of the fourth epoch. It's been more than 1,000 years. And you haven't even become an angel? Don't you feel inferior? As for that fellow, he had to rely on Isaac to face you head on at the start. He was as weak as that chick that just hatched, but now, less than a year, he has obtained godhood. He has the ability to match your strength. Don't you have any thoughts about it? Don't you think that over the past 1,000 years you have been a waste? Even a dog might open the gates to angelhood after 1,000 years. Well, even a dog might open the doors to godhood after 1,000 years, you dumb bitch. Medici, how about you get your own head out of your ass, motherfucker? I know what you're thinking. You're very jealous, and on the other hand, you have a twisted desire. You want to prove yourself by sleeping with him. You demonesses are laughable. Wait, what? On the one hand, you insist that you were originally men so as to prevent yourself from losing control, thus resulting in you losing control. On the other hand, you have to showcase the charm of a woman and try your hand at extreme pleasure and love. We hunters have no such problems. Regardless of what gender we were in the beginning, all we do in the future is war, war, war. Primordial really is a twisted fellow. Letting a pure woman take the path of a demoness would be so much better. But generation after generation, you pass the damage down, and for what? Every word of the Medici's words was like an arrow stabbed into the heart of Caterina. It made her face twitch. I love how even though he doesn't have a fucking potion to digest, he's literally just an asshole by nature. No wonder he advanced to an angel of his pathway. He's an asshole by nature, digesting it so easily. Medici glanced at Caterina and chortled. Don't tell me that you're losing control because of my provocation. What a nostalgic feeling. You can leave now. If there's anything, remember to recite my name. Of course, I will come to you if I have to. You're just letting me go like that? Why? Do you want to sleep with me? It's not impossible if the timing's right. But there's something that needs to be done right now. Don't worry, since you've already recited my name and given me a drop of your blood, you'll be under my watch. Have you already forgotten the differences between an angel and a saint? Don't you know how powerful a real high-level figure is? Unless you pray to your goddess and get a response, you'll never be able to free yourself from my gaze. Well, under normal circumstances, an angel can, but that's only limited to the situations of you chanting my name. If you don't believe me, you can seek the help of an angel. I'll keep your teachings in mind, Lord Medici. You don't seem so compliant. I can't even imagine how you were when faced with Gehrman, but I don't care. I forgot to tell you. It's best if you leave. It's best if you confirm the condition of your bloodline descendants. Don't you find it suspicious Gehrman found you so easily? I understand. She immediately retreated and entered the glass window again. With Caterina disappearing, a bloody gash appeared on the left side of Medici's cheek and made a sound. What an excellent actress! She made it seem like she wasn't good at controlling her expressions, showcasing restlessness and a lack of intelligence, as though it was easy for her ulterior motives to be discovered. That's right. That way, there's a high chance we would belittle her and let our guard down against her. The Red Angel's right cheek also cracked open. Demonesses are so cunning, but I've never underestimated any prey. Medici used his normal mouth to say she wants to desensitize me and make me belittle her, but it's impossible. Then why were you captured by Lista Tudor? Because of the two of you, Medici pouted. It had nothing to do with me. Fucking liar. How does it feel to be someone else's prey? The mighty god of war, the Red Angel beside the creator. Not bad. Medici's expression darkened. The personality that belonged to Sauron said, "You like to bluff in order to achieve your goals. Back then, at least I managed to see through your lies, and that's why they found you." And now you're bluffing Caterina. You're only capable of releasing your aura, relying on traps and surprise attacks to bring some damage. There's no way you could quickly finish her off, but you pretended that you had returned to your sequence 1 state, tricking her into reciting your name and giving you her blood. A bluff is a normal playstyle in poker. It's pretty good, isn't it? Oh, expert poker player, of course. At this moment, Medici chuckled. Furthermore, it's not just a bluff. What I'm most fond of is the mix in a truth or two with every bluff, allowing me to wait for fellows who think they've seen through my disguise to step into a trap, like the mistakes you two idiots made back then. You were the first to die, the two sides of the face said. That means I'm the strongest, worthy of the most attention. Bro, this is like all roads lead to Rome. Listen, I died last? Well, it's because I was the hardest to kill, right? They had to save me for last. I died first? Well, I required the most attention because I'm the strongest. Oh, well, fuck me, I guess. Didn't think of that. With that said, the 3 personalities fell silent. And then Einhorn spoke. Gehrman's connection with Evernight is tighter than I imagined. She should have noticed Katerina's state. It's alright. This is something she has tacitly allowed in the first place. Back when the Great Smog of Backland happened, the ones who participated in the operation are all gone. Only that demoness named Tracy is alive. Isn't that enough to explain? Medici then reflected himself on the glass window and disappeared from the area around the bell order. Bro, I just did a whole ass fucking... Oh my god, I just read like 11 chapters today. This is insane. Let me know tomorrow, Ramiro, where I need to read till tomorrow, okay? Above the grey fog in the ancient palace, looking at this spinning topaz pendant in his hand, Klein nodded. He had already used spirit dowsing to confirm Katerina's answers and came up with a conclusion. Right on the heels of that, he began his dream divination based on what he knew of the 8 secret mausoleums. He saw the corresponding areas and their states. This made him understand that entry was impossible normally. Even the process of prying without interference was difficult. Doing prime LeBron numbers? Actually, I'm doing prawn Jordan numbers. Take note of Medici's monologue. Oh, sounds good. This is hard. Back when I was channeling Katerina's spirit, it was different from the time when I did it for Quanos and Havin. She had too many expressions, and her answers were proactive. What does this say? With a thought, he beckoned for his hand to draw out a piece of paper stained with Tracy's blood. He then used dream divination. In the blurry world, Klein saw Tracy, who had escaped from her webs, and looking out the window. Tracy has escaped? She doesn't look sad. Only angry and confused. Is her relationship with Katerina so terrible? What's an acceptable chapter range? Ideally, we'd be looking at like 8. Ramiro, 8 or 9. Klein opened his eyes and confirmed that he could no longer use the blood in his hand to divine the location of Tracy. This meant that the demigod powerhouse had used a mysticism technique to sever the connection between the two. Katerina isn't dead? Right, when Medici answered, he used rhetorical questions. He didn't admit it at all. I was using the spirit channeling of a live person. Klein then confirmed via divination that Katerina was alive. Indeed, Medici's target isn't Katerina. Also, combined with the feedback of my progression of my potion, isn't it right for me to say that Medici is weaker than I imagined? He hasn't even recovered to the level of a sequence 2, and was unable to quickly finish off Katerina. He could only rely on other means to subdue her. Klein reined in his thoughts and stopped considering the problem. This was because he had already obtained the information he needed from Katerina. Klein put down the piece of paper and chuckled, severing the connection between blood and body, preventing divination. I wonder if it'll work when using the surface of Roselle's travel. Is Klein gonna transfer her blood onto Roselle's travel's thing? TP her there and then kill her in the book? That'd be so clever. After looking at the piece of paper, Klein temporarily gave up the idea of testing it. His focus shifted to the mausoleums of George III. Ordinary lines of thought won't work. The things I can come up with are things that the angels and saints can figure out. If it wasn't for the fact that the gods have tacitly approved, exposing this matter by printing it on flyers might have been effective. Teleportation nexus, the Tudor ruins, this. As he thought, a thought came to Klein's mind. Klein had an idea. My boy's steel trap is full of ideas. All right, boys. Fantastic. We did it. We did it. We got to 11. Alright. Finally a decent place to leave it. Alright guys, I'm going to end stream there. Thank you so much everyone for popping by and staying for the whole time. I think we streamed for just about 3 hours. 3 hours on the dot, basically. Alright, thank you so much everyone for coming. Have a great rest of your day or nights. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow. And we'll get this volume done by the end of the week, boys. How do you like Medici? Listen, he's kind of an asshole, but like, I like him. Okay? Bye, guys.